Sicily really wanted to rub his nose in the dirt. You can see the intensity in it. Cockatoo now. Ablett wants it. He's got it. Can he resurrect here? Went the banana. He's got the goal. I think he should have gone over the top, Das. But he kicked the banana. That was just a passage of highlights. Starting with the Sicily nose in the ground of Dangerfield.
And again there's a turnover. And Ablett, the little genius, drives it home.
And that's the pressure. The pressure of the turnover. On his toes. Intercepts. That can really hurt teams. And just being proactive, intercepts it there, well done. Keeps the ball in front, more importantly. Sets a great standard for the rest of your team.
They're having a good time out there. Steve Johnson enjoying himself. Stokes, Ablett, speaking of enjoying himself, from the pocket. That is as good as it gets from the genius.
Boundary throw in the pocket. Bomber Thompson can't do much now. Ablett gets through. He can do plenty. Books it back. How about that? Cometh the moment. Cometh the man. The son of the man.
What a career. To follow from his dad. And to follow in the footsteps of someone so significant to our game. What a start.
The Magna episode 13, the final, the 220 final. We've finally got up and running. It's taken a bit of time.
Finally started.
I was just there, the great intro there to Gary Ablett Jr. Is he the GOAT? Or I've just typed the HOAT. Lucky I didn't enter there. It would have been quite funny. We'd like to thank Major Tom for his video, live streaming, podcast, editing, marketing, all social media platforms. If anyone needs any work done, contact Major Tom. He really needs the business. He's poor, he tells me.
Or go through ground control. Same thing.
Same thing. Tonight, we'd really like to thank JDR Bricklayers. Thanks very much, guys, for sponsoring tonight's show. Whether you want an extension, a new brick barbie, a COVID
bunker.
A COVID bunker.
A COVID bunker.
Get in touch with JDR and they can organise that for you. So welcome to our final show. What's been a very difficult 2020. Big thanks to Codge and Chef for all their work to making this possible this year. It's been really has been a blast. Unfortunately, due to the delay of COVID, but we could have had a bit of a continuation. But we've got online now for our last and final show. Firstly, we'd just like to start. We'd like to have just 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah, I know, it's a long time. We've already had a delay. We'll have 30-second silence. We'd like to express our condolences to the Canavan family. And rest in peace, Kev, and we'll just give him 30 seconds to think about the great man.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost Kevin not that long ago through, I don't know what you call it, it's sort of a freak sort of thing. He went in for a hip operation and ended up with a blood clot, and unfortunately, he lost his life, and he's a big loss for us and everyone at the Heights. So,
yeah, we'll give him 30 seconds.
Is that close enough? I don't think no one can count at the Heights anyway, so that's okay.
That's exactly right. You should have given me an Irish then.
Oh, yeah.
You would have said 30 seconds up. You know what he's like. So just an overview of tonight's show. Have a guess who we've got as a demon tail. You won't believe this guy.
Oh.
A great slugger Reed.
Bullshit.
Yeah, he's
really?
here. He's here, yep.
Is that why he's here?
He's here, minus the red laser. You didn't bring the red laser down tonight? He's gone.
Molly the Mazda. Hey?
Red Laser's gone. That used to sit in the car park used to get there about, Thursday night and used to go home sort of Monday-ish, I think.
It's not the same Laser. He left the car keys in and hopefully he'd get stolen one day and get the insurance.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So we're catching up with Bully. We want to have a chat about the year that obviously wasn't. We're going to discuss some exciting signings for 2021 and some re-signings, of course. We've got Bisho back. Thank God, Bisho. He's going to do a Melbourne Cup preview for us.
And they're
fantastic.
He's sold up. Bisho.
Oh, no, I was going to talk. He's going to be. Hopefully next year we can get him as our resident Russell Coit.
That's it.
On the road, he can tell us where he is and introduce us to some exotic places.
Exactly right.
Either in Australia or if we can get out of Australia, overseas, wherever he's going to.
If we can get to Sydney.
Yeah, wherever he's going, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, great story that.
Yeah,
really great story.
Cricket season's upon us, so we're catching up with the Chad great Mick Ellis. He's gonna have a chat to us about anyone that's keen to have a hit this year, or a bowl. A fielding was fantastic, wasn't it?
Mate, third man, was it? And fine leg.
I know.
Seriously underrated.
Oh, I used to love
Absolutely
it.
underrated.
30-degree day, third man all day.
It just tested your mettle to run from one end of the other, one end of the ground to the other end of the ground for no particular reason at all,
right,
and not even see a ball played. But kudos to those guys, whoever did it, and I was one of them.
Don the Whites and come down.
Don the Whites, get sunburnt and do absolutely bugger all for your team. Terrific.
It was really good, but did enjoy getting home at sort of 3 a.m. in the morning after a good game of cricket.
Yes, and if you were like me, you never got a bat or a bowl because Slug was probably the captain, you'd get the ball every now and again at mid-off and rub it down there and then go home and go, well, just a couple, it wasn't too bad, economical, you know what I mean? And then go straight back to third man. It
was good fun. We're also having a chat with, we've got A-Rod. Andrew's here tonight. He's going to discuss some great... A-Rod.
Who's Andrew?
I thought it was Andrew.
It is.
Yeah.
But I've never called him Happy Live. A-Rod. Who is the probably the Triple A king gossip. I don't know what you want to call about that. There's a few nervous boys probably listening in about a few stories that A-Rod's got, so I'm looking forward to them. As long as I'm not involved in them, that's fine. So
so we're going to have a chat to him. We're going to talk about a few great demon traditions and fines. Apparently, he was the king of the fines.
The best fine giver ever. I would say they're the best. Yeah.
So we've got him on, and boys should be pretty scared, I think, next year. The way we'll see what he's got planned for next year, anyway. And we've got Dave Dinger's Bare Bums Dreamy Streeters Joke of the Week.
Dave's got a joke this week. It's a redneck joke, and apparently it's not sexist, it's not racist, it's
redneck.
It's redneck. So if you're a redneck...
It's one nation.
It's one nation. It's Trump-like.
It's Trump-like. I love it. All right. So if Codge is ready, we're going to give Josh a call.
What have you been up to, Grant, and COVID while we're waiting for... the great man.
Not much, mate. Putting on weight.
No, don't tell him. You're talking my language now. You're talking my language. Seriously, I've gone from XL, well, when I was 13, to XXL. To XXXL, to FC,
you're right.
to MO, which is morbidly obese.
You're right, mate.
My first.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, here we go. Where are we?
As soon as he answers, you might think this is a prank call.
You're first.
You, HC.
Where? Hi. Joshy.
G'day.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Going well. How are you?
Hey, haven't seen you for a long time, about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I thought you boys were coming at 7. What's going on there?
Oh, well,
daylight saving.
Exactly right. If you combine daylight saving with a few bottles of red wine, it's okay.
Yeah, well, I reckon you might have been having pre-drinks, as the youngies call it, before your show starts. So.
Well, we had pre-drinks because that's where we're so professional.
Yeah,
a couple of questions, Joshy. Mate, the year that never was, the year that was going to be something but wasn't. So tell us about it. Tell us about what your hopes and dreams were for this year and how they turned to absolutely nothing and where we are right now.
It's pretty scripted, I guess. A little bit of probably a slow start to the pre-season for us with numbers and stuff, and we got that up on track and brought some people and new players in the footy club, and rolling into practice games, everything was looking well, and then we had the first practice game against Canavan, which we had plenty of good signs, and then that was when it all turned pear-shaped, and then it's just a very, very odd season, I guess, for our footy club and every other footy club in Australia, I guess. So still, I think I mentioned it a few times before. I still think that our footy club's done a lot of, we've made some improvements, and I don't think, the time away from it, I think there's plenty of benefits that will come from it as well. So looking forward to getting into next year.
Josh, we've got some slides up here, and there've been ones that have been posted up on the Magnet over the last few weeks. I just wanted to have a chat to you about them. We'll go through them, if that's okay.
Yeah. That's fine.
So I guess the first one is the heart and soul of the club we want to talk about. Rhodes, Deck, Greenie and Rob Mack.
Yep. Yeah. So those boys were sorry.
No, keep going. Yep.
So those all those boys live together. So they got a bit of madhouse around the corner there. I think it's Chelsea Heights. So they're a great bunch of kids. I suppose coming into the club and not really knowing too many of the players and that. So that group of guys really stood out and made me feel pretty welcome, and they drove their standards of the training. And I suppose. They were probably the ones that all kind of stuck out to me at the start of pre-season. Which made me feel pretty comfy pretty early. So they never really missed a beat on the training track and stuff. So they're ready to fire up and ready to get back into it, which is good.
Good. And what about tell us a little bit about Jake O'Neill?
Jake O'Neill, he was another one that we brought into the club from EDS. I played a little bit of footy against Jake when I was at Blonde Beach. Just a really good, versatile player. I think he's had a little bit of time out of the game. He had some issues with, I think, his hand and stuff like that. But, he really started to come on towards the end of pre-season. And, I reckon he's going to be a really good footballer for us. He's real versatile, good size, really good in the air, and moves around really well for a big fella too. So, he'll be one to watch, definitely.
Cool. Tell us about the three big men that have recommitted.
The big fellas. So you got we got Ezzy, Gus, and Barter.
Yep.
So Ezzy come across from me. I played a fair bit of coached him in the reserves at Blonde Beach. So he's a big fella. He was actually playing gridiron the year before that. So he's ready to roll again. Big Gus is Rob Mack's brother. Comes from the basketball. Oh, both actually, Gus and Barter come from a basketball background. So they're a little bit raw, but they've got they're really physical and they've got some ability. And I think they're really going to come on. All three of them are really going to come on. I think I couldn't tell you now who will spend most of the time in the ruck, but they're definitely going to share the load, those three, throughout the year for sure.
That's good. And it's fantastic to see this experience back in Haddad, Matho and Walshy. So fantastic that they're going around again.
Yeah, unreal. Wrapped, I wasn't sure. Obviously, Matho spent a bit of time overseas and he was trying to get back if we did get up. But yeah, he's back in town now, so he's ready to go, which is great. I know how important all three of those guys are to the footy club. And yeah, I'm wrapped that they're on board. I think probably the little time away from footy this year, just both mentally and physically for those guys will benefit them a lot. And they're going to have guys around them now to share the workload. They're not going to have to do it all on their own. And I think they're definitely going to benefit from that. So, I was wrapped with all those guys. Even having new recruits is great, but keeping these guys who've been around for so long and they've got all the experience and all the rest of it, definitely so they're still ready to go.
Cool. And Rip and Price re-signing?
Yeah, Rip and Sheldo. Both, two that come across as well and really set the tone for us on the training track. Sheldo had a knee op coming into the year, so he was there, but he was really diligent with his rehab and was always there and showed his face and did what he could and kind of did a modified training thing. So he was great. Rick's just a goer. Everything he does, he just has a crack at it. He's in 100 mile an hour. So he's cracked into the pre-season and I think he fired a few of the boys up. He kind of took the bull by the horn, so to speak, and fired a few of them up. And he'd be there early and get the boys started before we even started at 6. So, both those guys are ready to go as well, obviously. So, looking forward to getting back into it.
Okay, and we've got the future that was announced, including a guy like Joel King, and there's a few other guys on there. So tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so it's tracking my memory of that team. So we've got Joel King, Vince, Juzzy Turbara, and Lockie O'Byrne. Yep. Yeah, so, yes, they are. I think these guys are really important. I think they'll all play, they'll definitely play senior footy throughout next year. I know that they'll be, once we get the go-ahead, they'll be straight out on the track. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Yeah, these guys are really important to not just the next year's footy, but for the next, 5, 6, 10 years even to have these guys around, because they're what you can build your footy club around, I think.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And tell us a little bit about Joel Williams and Chris Maloney. That they're new announcements, is that right? New players?
Yeah, that's right. So I think both Joel and Chris are originally Chelsea High boys. Yep. So they've played there before. They've had a little stint at Hastings. So we're rapt to get them back to the footy club. I haven't seen a lot of them play a lot of footy. I haven't really seen any of them play, to be honest. But from all reports I've got a few contacts at Hastings, and also the guys that have seen them play at Chelsea High. They're both pretty impressive young guys. They're going to slot straight back in. So looking forward to having them back in the mix as well.
Very good gets.
Yeah, Tim Brook, tell us how did he get back down to, or how did he get down to the club? He's a new player.
So Tim's he's a massive recruit for us. So Tim, small story short, played a bit of footy with Grippy up in Corowa, up in that comp up there in the O&M, and it's since moved down this way. I think his last footy he played, he was actually playing in Darwin, but he moved down this way, and he contacted Rippy when he come down to try and get a job. When that was at kind of when the COVID had hit and he was struggling a little bit, but through Nate Robinson, one of our other recruits as well, we got him a job concreting with Mitchcon. Yep. So he slotted into that role really well, and he's been working the whole time and really enjoying work. And then, I spoke to him pretty early after it had finished, and we wanted to get him signed up pretty quick. So a bit of back and forth, and he's on board. He's strong, really strong, really powerful, massive kick of the footy. He'll be in the engine room, and he'll provide us a lot of grunt, and also I think he's a bit of a goal kicker. So he'll get forward, and hopefully we can isolate him down there, and we'll let him go to work.
New nickname will be Dusty Brook.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say that, but I think he might have a bit of license to Dusty is similar. He'll probably play a similar role in our footy side anyway. So if he's half as good as Dusty, look out.
Cool. And you mentioned him, Nathan Robinson.
Yeah. So Nate, I've had a bit to do with Nate just through played footy with him at Bomb Beach, obviously. Same as Gaz. He went across to East Melbourne and coached and played footy with them for years. He was obviously on board for this year, but he's recommended for next year as well. So he's a really good player, and also going to be handy with me with coaching that as well. Obviously, he's done it, so I know I'll be able to reach out to him and get some advice when need be.
Okay, and just finally, a great recommitments here of Gary Carpenter, Gilder, Odell, and Perryman.
So Gaz is obviously recommitted for next year as well. He's going to take a playing assistant role on as well, so he'll do the trip down on the ground, and we've played footy long enough together, and we're both on the same page, I think, with how we want to play and how we want to go about it. So he'll be great in directing traffic and that across the half-back line when he's down there, and we're working well together. The other three, so Gilda, Geordie, and Jota, Odell. So they're obviously three vital for us. They've been at the footy club a long time, and they're all really, really, really good players. and they're also going to benefit from having these new recruits and a bit more depth around them as well, because I think probably these three guys have carried the weight of the side maybe for the last couple of years. So I think for them to, to have a freshen up and to get players around them, I think talking with them all, they've got a bit of spark back and they're excited to get back into it, which is really good.
Oh, mate, that sounds very exciting, actually, for a season that never was. So, next question, base, is the floor's yours. So, if there's any players after a game, or if there's any players umming and ahhing about not able to crack this season, what's your message to those?
Well, the positive thing for me is everybody that I've kind of reached out so far, whether it be a call or a text message, has been really positive about playing footy or getting back to the footy club or getting into a pre-season, which is really good. I've still got a few to work on, plenty there. But I suppose just I said to Lee to Waits and to Ad the other day, you can create as much excitement at the footy club, or you can recruit as many players as you want. But the facts are that our footy club won, I think, 5 games in 3 years. That's including this year, because to me, obviously we didn't play, but you don't play, you don't win games. So we've won 5 in 3 years. That's the way I look at it. And we've got to get our hands dirty, and we've got to crack in and work hard, and we've got to start getting subs on the board pretty quickly, I think. So that'll just be more message to the boys. So when we just go ahead, once we can get back to training, I'll just hope. I'd be gutted if the first big group session, if we didn't have 20 or 25 plus on the track, I'd be pretty disappointed.
Well, mate, it's basically a blank canvas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been here a very long time, seeing the ups and downs and the highs and the lows, and it's probably a good thing to start fresh again with new influxes and the old and new, and look, I think we're heading in the right direction, so it's very exciting, and it's it's a challenge to start from a blank canvas, from the bottom, or whatever you want to call it, but it's exciting times to be involved in the club.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think the days of footy clubs when they finish down the bottom end of the ladder, and they say, "Oh, this club's gone," and they're going to have to rebuild for the next 5 or 6 years. I think with getting the right people in and working hard, I think you can turn your luck on pretty quickly these days in footy. And I think we've got the right players there, and we've got the right people at the footy club and the right things in place to really turn it around. So I'm pretty excited to get stuck into next year, and I think players and supporters and people at the footy club should be excited as well.
Well, mate, we'll let you go. You've had a very busy and a very hard non-year, so we'll let you go, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of whatever this year brings you and the family, and we'll obviously keep in touch, and we'll see you around the track. But thanks for everything this year, mate, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
no worries at all. Just before I go, actually, boys, I think obviously I was meant to be in there, but you guys never run on time, so I couldn't hang around. But no, I think there's. I just want to say on behalf of the Chelsea Irish Football and Netball Club, just a huge thank you to all you guys involved with getting this Magnet podcast up and running. I think it's obviously been it's been good fun for you guys, but I know there's plenty of people out there that are talking about it and that have tuned in and that listen frequently, and it's been great for the footy club and keeping the spirits up and connecting with people that have been away for a long time. I think there's some vouchers there from our good friends down the road at IGA in Chelsea Heights there for all you guys to get down there. I'm not sure whether you can use it in the liquor section or not, but hopefully you can.
$8? That's $2 of wine for me. You're guilty.
It's free for me.
Hey.
So, yeah.
That's magnificent.
Big thanks to all you guys and all. I know the hard work. I know you obviously get in there and have a bit of fun, but it's obviously giving up your time, and it's a great thing. And I really think to start of something, I'm hoping it will roll into a pre-season type setup, and hopefully throughout the year as well.
Good on you, mate. Really appreciate that. That's actually really special.
Yeah, it is.
That's
and,
really good.
And we are too, Bully. So next year we're hoping to get some sort of program in place that you guys come off the track, you guys come in and we talk about the game that's upcoming on the weekend. We go through the side. We go through the side.
That'd be good, mate. Because I'm pretty sure a few of those boys there, they don't mind a bit of media. So I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Yeah.
There's plenty of egos in footy clubs. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll pick the right ones out. Don't worry about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's it.
Good on you, mate. Thanks very much, and we'll speak to you soon.
worries.
Good on you, Bully.
No worries,
Cheers,
boys.
mate.
Have a good day.
Ian.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
So next.
Thanks for that, Bully. Now we've got all things Chag.
All things Chag. So
now let's set this straight. We're going to find out about the Chag,
right?
Because it used to be Chelsea Heights.
It used to be Chelsea Heights Cricket Club,
yeah.
And it used to be Aspinall Gardens Cricket Club. Is that right, Mick?
Yeah.
We originally started as Aspinall EFL RSL. Then,
That's right.
The RSL obviously folded, and then we decided to change the name to Aspinall Gardens, being the local sort of area we were in. And then the way things were going with us and Chelsea Heights at the time, we thought the most appropriate thing was that we merged and became CHAG, Chelsea Heights Aspinall Gardens Cricket Club, or as we refer to CHAG as cricketers having a go, which is pretty much all we are.
Well, that's true because, we talked about this, and you go back to your tribal belongings of your clubs, and they talk about mergers, and you talk about this and that, and you're pretty staunch with a lot of things. But I think it suited us both perfectly well. The Heights weren't going great at the time, and it was just sort of a bit stale, you know what I mean? So we probably needed something to happen like that, and I think it's worked out pretty well for the last few years.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think we seemed to have a older demographic of players, which Chelsea Heights didn't seem to have, and Chelsea Heights had a younger demographic, which we didn't have, and it's just sort of ended up being a perfect fit, really. We always ended up, we'd attend Chelsea Heights functions and vice versa, and we'd always somehow end up at Davies in Frankston, regardless of if it wasn't Davies, Flannies, or the Robin Hood, which I think now has been knocked down. But
let's hope so.
Yeah, so it was blessing in disguise, I guess.
It was, you know what I mean? And I didn't mind it, and because I'm an old school, so you're thinking, when someone comes in your club, who's going to take over? You're worried about this, there's going to be egos. But it's actually been pretty. I mean, every club goes through, there's egos, there's this, there's clash and stuff like that. But the last couple of years, I'd say it's been fairly sort of smooth transition, would you say?
I agree. Early on, there was sort of a bit of angst, I guess, for want of a better term, that that'll be the Chelsea Heights boys and the Aspinall Gardens boys, and there won't be sort of any true amalgamation. But people were picked on their merit from the very beginning, and that allowed the first 11 to have a pretty good mix of both. And that was under Brad Lockhart. He's moved on now. He's playing at Carrum Downs, but he led that, and his father Neil, he was in charge at the time. And we've got a good mix on the committee, and we've always had all the way through of half Chelsea Heights, half Aspinall Gardens, just to keep everyone happy. So it's not it's a Chelsea Heights takeover or it's an Aspinall Gardens takeover. And
correct.
Every year, I think we're first year was 2014-15, so I think we're about 7 years in now, and it just keeps getting better and better. So,
well, like I said, as an old schooler, it was a bit. I wasn't adverse to the idea or anything like that. I knew that that's what had to happen. But I still, and from that the first day onwards, and still, if I can get any time to come down here and speak to Neil, watching the boys play and stuff like that, I love it anyway. It's to me, it hasn't changed that much. It's what it is. It's what it is. So it's great.
It's nice seeing a regular face. Just about one of our few.
Did you say irregular face or a regular face?
No, I didn't. We have a small following, but it's a good following nonetheless.
Yeah, they're good blokes. They're really, and blokes like Shep and stuff like that. There's some really good characters here, you know what I mean? Like I said, I can come down if I get some time, and hopefully I can get some time this year to come down and have a chat. They're more than welcome. You can say hello to the boys and have a chat with them, and they're really good kids. They're really good young men, And so
I agree. I think every year it just gets that little bit better, and everyone feels that little bit more at home, and it's one club now, and not two separate identities, and bigger and better things. We had a bit of success the first year. The second 11 won the grand final. Our lower grades have made a couple of grand finals and lost. The first have had success in finals.
That's the Chelsea Heights thing. Yeah. Sorry about that, you know what I mean? We can make the grand final, we just can't always win them, you know what I mean?
So Yeah, we just keep pushing and pushing, and it's hard being in this area trying to recruit when you've got such strong clubs. Bomb Beach is a very strong club in a strong comp. Chelsea's very much the same with Aspendale. So trying to find our own little niche, and
that's always been the problem. Whether it's been football or cricket, it's always been the problem. We've seen this little club that's on the edge or the outer sort of thing, and competing with those guys. But we've managed to hold our own, I suppose. You know what I mean? And it's brighter things ahead.
I think that was probably a major reason for the merge, being so close to each other that why have two, I guess, small clubs fighting against big clubs when we could come together and try and be one of the bigger clubs, because I think we're in a bit of a hard spot, being we could play in the MPCA and we'd be the furthest north club, but we're in the Seeker it is now, I was going to and we're the furthest south club, so we're sort of between a rock and a hard place. So
yeah. Well, they've made it easier for it, but that's the challenge we have, you know what I mean? And that's a challenge you look forward to every year. So now with COVID hitting and stuff like that, what you tell me what's going on now with training, games. What's the future? You tell me. I think it's all one days this year.
Yeah, we're all one days this year, so that's through all grades. The league went to a vote, and it was you could play every team twice for equality and have that as a one-day comp, or you could have, I think it was 11 games, and you might not play every team twice. And I think that was just a bit of a, you might get the lower teams twice. Some clubs will get the better teams twice. So I think one days is the right option.
I suppose it's going to be a bit more even in this sort of scenario.
It will,
COVID,
and then,
so.
yeah, and I think, well, speaking from our club, I think everyone's going to come from a very similar base with lack of training. We had our first session last Sunday.
One-day games are the greatest things ever invented. You know what I mean?
You're always guaranteed a result, and I don't think I've played in many one-day games that have gone the full 72 overs that we play. It's always done not long after tea. And,
never heard of it. Never heard of it.
And we're very partial to a beer, which is great.
Get it over and done with.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, get over and done with.
And get on the beers. So that's what we've always been about. Before we merged, the old RSL, we used to be known as the Party Boys, and all the league reports was, the Party Boys had a good week this week. They made 350. The Party Boys had a stinker. They must have been on the grog. They've been rolled for 110 and.
Which in the end, you're on the grog all the time. You just have lucky days every now and again.
I think it's, like I mentioned earlier, it's perfect that cricket is having a go. We play hard out there, but we just want it to come to 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we can walk off and we go straight to bar and grab a nice cold handle. So
perfect. What about how many teams we got this year?
We're going with 4 this year. We had 4 last year. We previously ran 5, but it was getting quite hard. Too few numbers for 5 teams, so we've gone down the path of let's have too many for 4, even though we still seem to have too few for 4. I guess it's somewhat a blessing at the moment that we're not getting interrupted by the spring carnival and people are always off to the races or going overseas. So I can only imagine that we will actually, for a first time, have too many for 4 for a change, which I'm sure for the captains will be a blessing that they're not on the phone.
Will that be long term?
Let's hope.
Yeah. You know what it's like. Friday night, you got to ring a phone. You got to ring a mate. You got to ring a mate who played once or played twice. Who played when he was 12. You got to ring them. So it's tough. So if you get 4 solid teams, if you're lucky enough, that's probably the easiest thing to do.
I was speaking with you earlier, and being secretary, I'm just sick of getting the phone call at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Can you register this bloke? He hasn't played before. And then what's his date of birth, his address, and all this sort of stuff. And I hope the Seeker's not listening or watching, but I think there's a lot of players on the chat list that have got my email address, my home address, my mobile number, just their name, just so it gets done. But you got to do what you got to do to put the teams out there.
And that's all. That's what it's about, isn't it? Whether it's footy or cricket, it's about getting people on a Saturday or a Sunday, whenever you play, getting them out there and playing some sport and enjoying life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I think I said, you know what I mean, for the first time this year. It was the first time this one.
That's a skull.
Thank you, skull. Sorry about that. It's something I drink.
No, I think that's been, I don't know. I've played football too. I used to be a former Chelsea Heights player, but I've always loved cricket that little bit more because you get to have that banter on and off the field while you're waiting to bat or you're out there fielding, whereas in footy you sort of, it's go, go, go. You
it's
don't
100%.
really get that opportunity to sort of talk shit with each other sort of thing until after the game. But you could be chasing 450 and then you just start sleeping, that was a good one, that's gone for 6 again. And then
I was a very average football and cricket. I remember playing a game, and I asked Slugger about their cricketing prowess or lack of it years ago. And I used to keep a bit, and I was the fattest keeper in the league, and I couldn't bend over. But I let one bye go in 1 year. So I had a bowl one day. I was lucky enough to have a bowl, and I bowled me pads because it was just a stupid game. And I was getting tonked. But the ball's actually landing 3 or 4 metres inside the boundary line. And we had an umpire who'd never umpired before, and he told us, he goes, I've never umpired before, and I don't know the rules. So this ball, I'd hit, and this guy was tonking me, and it lands 4 or 5 metres in the boundary, and all my mates, Slugger included, are going 6 and putting their hands up. So he's putting 6 up. So I'm just getting smashed out. I'm thinking, this is a shithouse game with your mates, you know what I mean? It was fun. It's fun. I mean, I love cricket. You know what I mean? I was no good at it, but somehow you just love standing out there in 45 degrees with your mates taking the piss out of each other, you know what I mean?
If, we've had a story from years ago before the merge, Stephen Quinn.
I'd never heard of him. Never heard of Quinny?
Never heard of Quinny.
Polarising figure he is, Quinny. He was leading the bowling averages at the time, and then...
Did he tell you about that?
Peter Morrell, he was chasing a ball to the boundary, and he was coming second, and he had it all written out before the game that if Quinny went for so many and he didn't, he'd win the bowling average, and it pulled up just short of the boundary. Running 2. Pete just kicked it over.
Kicked out of the
boundary. He's the only one clapping himself. I've just sealed the bowling averages, so...
Tell you a story about it.
Yeah, it's funniest. We'll keep you for later on.
So,
Mickey, thanks for coming on. Training, when's it start? What's the go? Do you need anyone? Are we short? Do we need any more players? Who do we need to ring? Is it you or?
Yeah, so training, obviously, Cup Day tomorrow we aren't training, so we'll train Thursday, Sunday this week, and then we'll just go the regular Tuesday, Thursdays. If anyone wants a game, I'm more than happy to answer
register
phone
them
calls,
at 10 o'clock at night.
That's it. I'm sure people have got me on all their sort of Facebook pages and whatnot, or if you just search a Chag page, and we can go from there. So anyone's welcome. Like I said, cricket is having a go. It's inclusive for all. So we've got grades. Our seniors are in, our one's a B grade, then we go H, I and K grade, I think it is. So it caters for all, good, bad, otherwise. So important thing is, I guess, supporting the local community and the joint community we've got here with the footy club and cricket club. So
absolutely. Well, look, mate, I'll give you a bit of wrap up. Mick's been around here for a few years and stuff like that. Played here at the footy and stuff like that. A bloke who does a lot, behind the scenes. A bloke who does a lot of work behind the scenes to get people on the ground. And he's a terrific bloke, Mick, and he's a worker. He's a great clubman. So if you want to have a game of cricket,
get in touch with Mick. And I'll just to say. Also to that, I actually like Jaggers on my Facebook, and I might be down the beach, or I might be wherever I am. It comes up with a little bit of banter or the scores or what happened, and I always...
it's good to know it goes far and wide.
I know the Blake boys and that used to be ex-cricketers down here, love following the Jaggers, and they'll always put a message in and go the Jaggers. And
mate, it's your club. It's your club. You played footy you played footy and cricket.
Yep.
I think to a stage you only played footy or cricket.
Yep.
But if you love your sport and you love your club, you follow both. Yeah. That's it.
I think that's a good thing about this area. It's just a community. It's not really Chelsea Heights Football Club or Chag Cricket Club. It's Chelsea Heights Sporting Club, I guess, essentially. So it sounds like the footy club with Bully and that are going places, and hopefully we're doing the same with the cricket club. So I think hopefully this little part of town can only get on to bigger and better things. So
absolutely, and I reckon if we're nice enough to the bloke over here with the grey hair and the stress levels in here, maybe we could do a Chag.
I think it's a good idea.
Podcast.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of the magnets, and I think if you do something for the cricket club as well, I think it would be.
I reckon if we tried hard enough or nice enough, I reckon we at least get 1 or 2 in, because it's very important for, like I said, for the community, for the club as a whole to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Somehow I feel there'd be a few similar faces pop up again, because I'm sure like our local guru out the back would be popping up for the cricket club as well. Because of the cricket. So I appreciate that. And I think if you're nice words and having me on, I've enjoyed it. So
mate. And anyone that hasn't already, like the Chaggers on Facebook.
Yep,
follow
get
them
on them.
Yeah, I do. And we'll see how they go.
Mate, it's one club.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. It's one club.
Yep.
It's not this or that. It's one club.
Yep.
So if you play footy and you got nothing to do with it, come down and watch the boys. You know what I mean? It's good. I've met I met Dave Lee one day watching the cricket,
Yeah,
and we've become really good mates. And that was just sitting here watching the boys and having a few beers, watching the cricket, which I still love. So, yeah, one club, look after each other.
Yep.
So, thanks for coming on, Mickey. Really appreciate your time. Sorry we're a little bit late. So,
gets me out of the house. If you get out of the house in lockdown at the moment, you take it. So.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Good on you,
Thanks,
Mick. Appreciate it, mate.
On you, Mickey.
Yeah, and again, we'd like to thank, firstly, we'll thank Domino's for delivering these pizzas.
Domino's
Fantastic.
pizzas, yeah, good that.
Yeah, our producers probably put away 2 or 3 already.
Yeah, they're empty
say.
boxes now, but anyway.
And we'd like to thank JDR Bricklayers. If you need any brickwork done, get in contact with Joel. I've got his number here, 0403 611 809. No job is too big or too small for the boys at JDR.
And really appreciate you sponsoring tonight.
Yeah.
He just come straight up and said, "You've got a sponsor for the night." We said, "Oh, we didn't want to put it on." He said, "I'll do it." Don't. He goes,
Fantastic.
"Rank plates." He goes, "Done." So that's a absolute great attitude and effort. So thanks, Joel. Appreciate it, mate.
And as we've always said, especially at the start of this COVID thing, shop local.
Look after each other.
Yeah, look after each other. Look
after
after the guys.
you look
from the
after your mate and your community, and they'll look after you in the long run. So.
And thanks to IGA too for the gift.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. And thanks for a little Rawson's Red I've been drinking over the last couple of months, so that's terrific. So
fantastic. I know you've been getting your bottle of wine there on a.
When you say one, I mean a lot.
A lot.
So,
So we're ready for our next guest.
We are. I've just got to ask one. I've just got one thing. Is there a floor manager around here somewhere? Is around here? I don't mean to hold it because we're running a bit late.
Yeah.
More wine. More wine. Excuse me. What's she doing? Nothing. Right. Is it my go or your go?
No,
I've been
running
running sheet.
You're running the show here.
Really?
Yeah.
Righto. So we're lucky enough now to have a good friend of mine, a player who's been... How long have you been around here now?
Into my 9th year.
9th year?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's if it's in 9. It's like dog years around here, isn't it?
Honestly,
it's like if it's not, it's like 60. I've been around about 970.
I've aged 20. If it's been 9, I've aged 20.
Mate, I'm 32. I'm 32.
There's teenagers at this table.
I know, it kills you. So, welcome to the table, Andrew Ritchie. Most of us know as just A-Rod, it's simple as that.
It's an odd one, that one. Ryan Stewart gave me that, so shouts out to Ryan Stewart.
Stewie?
He gave me that nickname, and Heath Bennett Dingo on our first ever night.
Because I will tell you now, in 9 years or whatever I've known you, I've never called you Andrew.
Andrew, yeah, no one else.
Not Andrew at all. It's
My
just
mum and dad will
A-Rod.
be watching now, and they're like, they only know me as that. And I've introduced myself to people in football as Andrew, and like, who?
Yeah.
And I'll say A-Rod, and they're okay, right, you're right. So it's a weird one. So I appreciate that, Stewie, if you're watching.
Righto.
Tell us a bit about yourself. How long you've been at the club and what do you do for a crust?
Well, first and foremost, I'm not a cricketer.
Not a cricketer, that's all right.
No, I don't. I'm no good at that.
The guru's at the back here.
I'm a twos footballer, and I'm staunch as a twos footballer, and that's the way I'll say. I've been here 9 years. I've had a couple of stints at other clubs. One at Sandown, one at St Paul's. I left after I started here in 2011. We had a pretty lean stint. The ones and the twos were pretty rough.
Yep.
We come in, Heath, myself and Dan, my best mates. We all started at the same time, and the Heights were battling, to be honest. Flacky had just come in, and he was doing his best, and he got those 2 teams to finals, and then we ended up losing 4 in a row.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Yeah.
You know, we spoke about it before.
Mate,
Do I bring it up? Okay, you can't bring it up because it's just
sleep, mate. It is. It is. It's hard to put your head on the pillow every night knowing you haven't won one, especially when all those.
Yeah, don't say arseholes or whatever they say.
It just breaks my heart. But yeah, so after that period, I left. I went to Sandown, Divi 3, chasing a flag.
Yeah.
The only highlight out of that was playing with Favola. So I got to play with Favola for a game. So it was funny. Kicked 8, I kicked 4, kicked 1 after the siren to win it. So that was fun.
Was it you or him?
He did. I did nothing, mate.
Oh, see, I led you into the question. There you go. I did, and no one would know.
I'll give you a little backstory about Fev. So before the game, he had 12 pills in his hand. He had 2 Endo, he had 2 No-Dos, he had 2 Valium, he had 2 Panadol, and he had 2 Nurofen. I don't know what that adds up to, but it was a handful of friggin' pills, and he necked him in one go and went out there, kicked 8 goals, 1 after the siren to win it. So
that's my breakfast actually now.
And
so
I said to him, that's my mate for life. But yeah, so I went over there. I was chasing a flag. Went up to Bunyip. I left there. They ended up winning the flag, and I left.
How'd you know Bunyip?
They offered me cash because I was playing twos all this
Beautiful.
time. I won a couple of league goal kickings, and they said, you want some money to come up. So I played half the year going up to Bunyip, and it was costing me and Rick Gow, my cousin, quite a bit of money to get up there every week.
Yeah.
More than they were paying you?
Fucking heaps more.
So it was a financial sort of...
mate, driving up there was Mum and Dad for Lang Lang. Hello, Mum and Dad, if you're watching. Yeah, they're from Lang Lang. So I was playing up at Bunyip, and the first 6 games they lost, right? So I left Bunyip. I said, look, I can't do it. And they ended up coming back and winning the flag. So they crept into the semi, crept into the qualifying, then the semi, then the prelim, and then won the flag. So,
Did you leave after they started winning? Or after, sorry?
Nah, they were 0-6 when I left.
So you thought no hope?
Yeah, no hope. And Gilly...
And they looked at, when you left, they've gone, now we've got hope? Is that how it works?
Yeah, oh, mate, that was tremendous. And then Gilly went over to EDS, and we were trying to win a flag, and I went to St Paul's with Gilly, and they got us a flag in the seniors, and we got rolled in the twos. So as a footy guy would say, I'm pretty unlucky when it comes to the silverware. But in terms of personal achievements, I've got heaps. But in terms of team things, there's fuck all. Sorry.
But it's yeah. I mean, it's just great. It's footy. It breaks your heart because that's what you play for. But
all these Heights people that talk behind the scenes, there was a period of time there when we were just that dominant. It wasn't funny. It had nothing to do with money. It had nothing to do with talent. It had everything to do with the heart of the club. And that was ones and twos. And you go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I played a year at South Montana. I played against Sandown Wavers.
Oh, the Coppers,
and
Rick Bean.
And it was not a very pleasant place to play football at.
Mate, no good. It wasn't that good. It was Divvy 3, and I got dropped to the twos a couple of times. So a lot of my mates are like, "You're playing Divvy 3 twos. Where are you at? Like, where are you at with your life?" So it was a tough time. But having Fev down there, they give him $10,000 envelope, and off he went.
What was in your envelope?
I've never got one.
Oh, really?
You've been given an envelope. I watch my best mates Walsh. All these boys get given envelopes every fucking. Nah, not me, mate.
I got an envelope. It was do not come back. Don't come Monday.
I don't think I've had that. I think I got marched out of this club a couple of times, but they've always walked me back in. Shouts out to Ryan Flack.
Flack man.
So A-Rod, tell us a little bit about your social work that you're doing around the club, your fines, etc.
Yeah.
Can I just butt in? And I said it before. We do the fines. Everyone does their fines. And there's no better man that does the fines than this guy. He's just got the...
Well, I'm dabbling in a bit of stand-up comedy. So... I will be in the
I'm not sure if I could back that up for you, but anyway.
The McKinnon Hotel, but I'm doing live.
Really?
Sets,
Is that true?
It is 100% true.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I'm trying to do a bit of stand-up comedy. So whatever I do on the Thursday nights, a little bit of that, and I'm trying to work out.
Yeah.
So in terms of the fines, basically what it is just all year, all the boys save up as much as cash as they can for me to steal at the end of the year. So what it is just a tin that we all put the money into, and I just dive into it at the end. And that's a running joke to run.
Actually, you know, when I had you, when we decided to have you on a long time ago, I thought, I wonder if it's going to be brought up. And I thought, if you can bring it up yourself, that's just gold. That's brilliant.
It's that funny. I've got to bring it up now because there was 2 years I wasn't even at the club that the tin got robbed, and I was still getting texts. Like honestly,
it just got slaughtered. It disappeared a couple of times, and it got slaughtered one time. Like someone ate it. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure you'd go to jail for like $137.50. You know what I mean?
Mate,
there wasn't much in it.
I was hung, drawn, and quartered a couple of times there. But what we do is we raise those $2 fines, and they're generally for just blokes sleeping with fat people, blokes going out doing silly things on the week. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. We get a bit of a laugh. We get a lot of people back on the Thursday night, so they're tipping money into the club. So if we can get the whole twos team and the whole ones team there, and everyone around it, I mean, they're having a laugh, so they're going to have a really good meal because it's always cooked by the best, and they're going to get a bit of a laugh. So that's the Thursday night. And it got to a spreadsheet and it got to flights and all the rest. I don't know how Codzy did it. Shouts out to Damien Consent. I don't know how he did it all those years, but organising those boys and getting them on a plane and getting them home, it's a pain. Oh my God! It
was just disturbing that after the first night of training, the fines and the triple A was more important than the season involved. You know what I mean? It's like, boys, we're going to sound something, and it's round one. So.
Well, a certain captain of the club, I remember, walked up to 2 nice ladies, and I won't finish the line, but he said, if I had AIDS, ... and we'll leave it at that. And you know who you are. On that same trip, I saw a flea jump out of a letterbox. Yeah, we put him in a letterbox. We've got Charlesy Engel, a spray tan. Shouts out to Charles if you're out there, Charles. That was Luke Jackson doing that to him. And Cozzy and I were minding a sex shop for about half an hour for a fella that was going to do a favour for us.
Where was this?
Where? Early Beach.
Early Beach?
Yeah.
I need to know about the Chuck thing. That's
Chuck,
just hilarious.
Hilarious. So
the whitest man.
He's
whiter than Paul and Hanson.
It's ridiculous. It's like he's seen a ghost. So he was ridiculously white, pizza box white, and shouts out to Domino's. Pizza box white, and he was, and we got him a spray tan, the darkest legal tint. And we're talking, we got him at Rihanna level. You know what I mean? We got him coloured up. And Lukey Jackson just reckons jug on the head, and he had the streaks, right, Charles, and he's like, I'm going to get it redone. And that same footy trip, we almost had Carlos get Souvlaki tattooed down his arm. I'll tell you why, because Praddy wanted Carlos to walk into the fucking fish and chip shop and just hold his arm up. Well, that was Souvlaki. Remember that basin you threw in the pool? Anyway, we'll move on.
How many Triple A's you been on with the boys?
Oh, Jesus. From 2011 till 4 years ago. So, would have been about 6 in a row.
Who's the king of the Triple A?
King of the Triple
A. Is there ones you wouldn't pick?
Well, you're looking at
him. I knew that Flackie's an underrated.
Oh, he's underrated. I'll tell you what, he's a ripper.
People think he's that country boy. He's got a thing. He's got thick, but he's really nice.
In Adelaide. Now, he shared a room with a naked chief. And that's mean feat.
I can't get that out of me. That's a visual.
It's gone around that. It's horrendous. So he did that at Early Beach. I remember Ryan Miller, Mullet, jumped on.
Good man.
Out to Mullet, if you're listening. He got on the microphone at Adelaide Airport and it went like this. He goes, Paul Oakley to the counter, you fat piece of shit. And it went over the whole airport, right? So that was quite funny, that one. I know. I've got too many stories on trip. Oh, God.
Tell us a couple more.
Oh, I can give you some Travie Jonos, I can give you some Jade Nettards, I can give you all the
who would you not think? Who would in this club think no way in the world that guy would do that or get in trouble?
Pooey. Rowan Neat.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, all right. So,
just remember he's married now.
Supposedly he came that year, and supposedly he soiled himself in his shit. Let's just leave it at that. And he mellowed about it, and he left it that way for the rest of the week, and that was Pooey from then on. Pooey by name, by nasal, by nature.
What I heard about his nickname, I said, what do you call him, Pooey? And they just, because he speaks so much shit.
Oh, it's horrendous. Didn't he play at Hawthorn in Brisbane? And couple of spots?
Yes. He gave me a migraine one day, but that's another story.
He could play twos footy, like Chris Arns.
He wasn't too bad, yeah.
They could play it. They could play the game.
So what about, who was the king? Who was the king of the Triple A's? How were you?
The Triple A wasn't Emu, because he's a copper now.
Oh, yeah.
So he'd always barge in the room and be like, what are you bastards up to? What are you doing? And we're like, get out, Emu. Someone get him out. Thank God Ryan Shield got him out one night. But he was a pain. Flacky was one of the best.
Was he good?
Jason Miller was good fun.
Well, Mill was always off his melon anyway.
Tibbsy was fun. Michael Pratt, the Prattle Snake. Shouts out to Gilly on footy trip, top bunk. There was a number of things that I saw on those trips that I could just never repeat, like the Jared Uren pass out. I've seen many things. I've seen porcelain end up in pools.
We did have that sort of, like I said when I spoke to you before about the conversation, I said, look, when we ask you a question, you answer it honestly. But just be careful how you say it. You know what I mean?
And these boys know, look, it's coming from me. And you all know who I used to be and what I used to be and how I used to be. I used to be a lot thinner. I used to be a little bit more erratic, let's say.
So going on to that, so you've had your, and we're changing tact a little bit.
100%, yeah.
So you've been a bit of a battle.
Yeah.
The last...
There's a drug out there called methamphetamines, and I was wrapped around it very much so for about 9 years. And it worked me. And my parents are listening to this, and everyone's listening to this, and they all know that. So I'm completely clean and can tell people that I've turned that around in that regard.
So, and that's not, and this is like I said to you before, when we ask questions here,
please,
we don't ask them and ask you to give you an answer or give us an answer we want. We want your answer.
Yeah.
So what? I'm not going to say. I understand that addiction. I understand how it all sort of works because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Every now and again. How did it work for you? And what changed it? Because you know what? And I'm telling you, going to be right now, honestly, everyone in this club knows everyone.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
Right? And we know everyone's got their failings for whatever, you know. I mean, you look at me and go, well, he's a bit of a pisshead or puppet, you know, everyone, or I'm a bit of a piss. And I get that. That's fine, you know what I mean? So, you know, people they could point their fingers at you and stuff like
and
that.
And they did, and that's why there was always these sort of suggestions around the tin and just untrustworthiness, easy deceitful. What's his mindset at the moment? And being, I don't want to say it, but junkie, and you do get those. People cast those aspersions, and you are what they say you are. Let's be dead real. It's only now I've had a really good handful of people, like my best mate Dan, my best mate Brad Gilder. These blokes have pulled me, get me emotional, pulled me out of it. And it was tough. It was very tough. I got walked out of this football club because they found a needle in the disabled toilets, and they looked at A-Rod and said, "Oh, you're at a function. You passed out on Cheryl's table." Shout out to Cheryl. What are you doing in there, passed out? I was actually just drunk that night, but they thought I was doing heroin. But that's actually how deep I sort of got myself.
Do you understand? And I'm hearing some new stuff from you. Do you understand that people can judge you? Easily, you know what I mean? Without any basis of things like that. But you know what, then you have to look at that and go, well, fucking hell, someone's fucking calling me there. So that's hard.
It is, yeah.
But what do you do then? What's your next thing? As you go, well...
What you do then is...
Because you're not going to please everyone, you can't.
You that you care about their opinion. Because there's about 1,500 people you don't care about their opinions. It's just noise. So I've had Carly, I've had Gilly, and I've had these people... that are 5 people on my hand. If they say something to me, I'll listen, right? And if their opinions of me differ, or if I'm negative in their eye, like I don't want to be negative in their eyes. So to me, it's always been like I have to prove to them that I'm come good, and I've proved it to myself. Like all this weight that I've put on, and I was a shadow of the man that I used to be. And shouts out to Leith Waits as well for what he's done to the club, what he's done for me, what he's done for everyone. That man's a gem. I turned it around with love of good, close people, Toddy. Did you? What was the point? Did you find yourself looking at yourself really money in deep off Mum and Dad and going, "Fuck it, I need to change it"? Off Mum and Dad, and going to get gear. Because that's really tough. I mean, like I said, what you're telling me now is straight on. I don't know about it, so I'm just going to ask you these questions straight out. On my son's life, and shout out to my son. But you've got to everyone, and it doesn't matter who, everyone's got to come to a point in their life they need to know where they are. Yeah, in a sense where you go, got to that too. It's like what I am, who I am, because everyone can get waylaid by a lot of things that get out of control. They're out of control. And people cast it like they. But when you're a decent person inside, you know the difference. Yeah, that's a weird thing. But between being a good person and being that better person, chasm, isn't it? Exactly right. So how do you do that? And how you do that is you concentrate on the 5, and the 1,500 will come. Yep. Right, you concentrate on the 5, and once those 5 are like, this guy's turned it around, you know, and everyone else will start seeing that. And you've got to build. There's no quick fix. I've got to build trust up with Slug. I've got to build trust up with you. I've got to build trust up with Nick. I've got to build trust up with with Hazel. I've got to build trust up with everyone back at this club that I love because of the person I used to be. But I'm not that bloke anymore. And for anyone who is out there that's twirling one now or thinking about it, it can be done. It can be given up. And it can be successfully done, 100%. And you're looking at a bloke right now who has done it, so 100%. Next question. Mate, that's great. Absolutely fantastic. I can't believe that we've got to that. If I get a photo or a life membership one day, that'll be the tagline. Well, I knew you had... Look at Flacky up there. He's not that big. He is not that big. Jeez, that thing. There's no leg shots. So the next question I'm going to ask is and I don't dismiss what you just said because that was super powerful, and I'll take that back. Seriously. You had a few health issues lately? I've got a few at the moment. And we're always worried about you, and we do know because... Yeah, I've been in and out of Alfred. The good thing about
this club I always know is when you're involved, no matter what reason, people actually give a shit about you.
100%. I saw that through with the Matho. I saw that the whole Matho incident made me realise this joint's family. This is blood that runs through all of us. It really is. And helping Shawnee out on that day and with everything, helping with Helena, and I saw what this club was. And every time I post something on Facebook telling everyone that it's not cancer, it's not Crohn's disease, which it's not. I just have a tube up my bum. It's a drainage thing. I might have to have a colostomy bag. Mum, don't cry, relax. It's all good. I don't have cancer or Crohn's disease, so it's a pain in the arse for me, but that's all it is. Frank was a pain in the arse on footy trip, but who isn't? You know, it's just a pain in the arse. That's all it is for me. And
pretty poor choice of words, but anyway,
yeah.
I'm saying.
No, it is. It is.
But
it's
that's what I'm saying.
Even a nappy
Mate,
now,
we,
so.
as I know, we care about people in the club. And
I
when we
care
hear
about-
stuff, and when we hear the brutal reality and the brutal truth of people, it actually breaks everyone down to understand that everyone's got their
one
own
level, isn't it?
demons and everyone's got their own battles to go through. So it breaks it down and puts everyone on a level we can all understand a little
Yeah,
bit.
100%. And to keep it on a real, let's keep it how it actually is. I saw Jerry in the ICU on the same level that I was. So it's just tough going in there knowing I've got options and he didn't have one for himself. So I'm on the same level every day. So I can see that I'm going to come out of this all right. There are people in the Alfred that don't. So I go in there every day. I'm happy to give the nurses a high five and some flowers. They're all nice ladies. Shouts out to Nicole if you're listening. But my nurses are great people. So I've just got a couple of choices in terms of my health, but that's all good. It's all come from giving the shit up. My body's starting to acclimatise to how it sort of should be and the weight I should be at. So I'm sitting at 81 kilo now and I've been hovering around that for a bit. I'm feeling good.
Mate, that is...
It's fantastic.
I'm not even sure what to ask you anymore because what you've just told me has blown my mind a little bit. But very impressed.
I'll say a few
Leave it
things.
professional.
I work in a very difficult field. I won't say what it is, but I work in a very difficult field. And I once read a quote which is close to my heart, and it's every saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
Yeah.
And it's something that is so true.
That sounds exactly like what Paul Conroy, one of my best mates, says the exact same saying. Never judge a man by where he's at now. Judge a man by where he's at in the future and what he's overcome to get where he is. You know,
Right.
so the decisions you make dictate the life you lead. So I just had to make some better decisions. I started to do that with good people around me, and they got me right. And here I am today, able to tell the demon tales. And we haven't even got into the tales.
I was just going to say.
There's a lot of blokes out there should be real nervous. But I'll get to you.
We might have to keep there another time because that's...
We've got to get slug on, guys. We've got to get slug on.
I just want to say, we knew you did all your homework and you knew straight away pretty much that was going to go out the shit house and just
went out the shit house. There's so many stories there.
But I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if I've got much more to say about you, but that's been one of the best interviews I've had.
Well, I'm happy to come on any time. If you want to delve a little bit deeper, guys, I'm here to give you the answers and give you the real stories.
You're more than welcome on, and we didn't actually have to ask anything this time.
Nah.
We sort of let it go, and that's the beauty of I think this what we're doing this year.
100%.
People just feel comfortable enough to just spill their guts
but
and
I'm
tell
happy
us
to
what
throw
it's
the
about.
current list under the bus. Anytime you boys want, I will throw them.
I reckon we'll keep them. I reckon you keep that book and we'll nail that. We'll just work on that. And we'll see how we go.
I'm happy to come on any time, guys, and love what you're doing. Shouts out to JDS for sponsoring. Shouts out to Domino's for doing all that. Shouts out to these two boys and the man behind the scenes. And it's been unreal. I'm about to handball over to Slugger, and I never handball. Bit
of a bowler in you.
Mate. It's all about glory. See that trophy up there? You don't get your name on it with handballing, mate.
That's it.
Well, that's been to me. That's been outstanding. Outstanding. I've really enjoyed what you just said. Yeah, absolutely, mate. You know what I mean? So it was the funny thing. I just want to say that I rang you a couple of weeks ago when I said I wanted to be on for that. I said we might have to get on the Zoom. No, I don't do Zoom. You know what I mean?
Can't do it.
It's like, no, I can't do Zoom. I need to be one-on-one in the face. And I've been, I'm really glad you've gone. I'm really glad you've come on, and we've actually really appreciated it.
And your honesty is...
Yeah, honesty has been absolutely magnificent. So like you said, we'll keep some of that shit for later on. No worries about that. Don't lose that. We'll keep it up for later on.
I might even put it on the wall,
Mate, thanks.
Lots of love to everyone watching.
Good on you, mate. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Before we get on to our demon time, we're gonna actually get in touch with Bisho.
Oh, yeah.
Codge is gonna ring him, and we're gonna do a bit of we're gonna have a look at the Melbourne Cup. So, of course, it's Melbourne Cup Eve.
You're talking my thing now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
you're talking to me.
Hopefully, I can get ready. The answers.
Hello.
Bishop! Yo, beauty!
Yo, beauty!
What's going
How
on,
are you,
Teddy?
boys?
What's happening?
Oh, just went out and bought a wig and put an all brittle cream in it to go in the fashions of the field tomorrow. All good.
Is that have you left yet? Are you in a trailer of knowledge, or what's going on?
No, well, I'm still in the house. We're sitting on cardboard boxes at the moment. We go out on Friday.
Jeez.
Friday. All right.
Yeah, Friday we go on we become full-time hippies on Friday, mate. So they put it back a week on us.
What have you got? Did you get a caravan? What are you doing? Are you moving around?
Yeah, no, I bought a great big bloody caravan, about 23 foot long. It's got everything. It's got the ensuite and everything. Got the surfboards all packed.
Jesus
So
Christ!
we're ready to go. We're going to go up the coast and go to Rainbow Beach for a couple of months and just go surfing.
Where's your first point of call? Rainbow Beach. And for all of us who are stuck in Melbourne and fucking can't get to Morty Alec, where's Rainbow Beach?
Well, from the sunny coast, it's about an hour and a half, hour and a quarter. It's like Torquay was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you know.
Right.
Just a few back there. It's just got good surf there, pubs, and it's pretty laid back, mate. So we're going there for a while and just keep going north till we're out in the bloody borders, you know, and we'll come down south a bit.
Beautiful. So what? Just before we get right into your tips and stuff, why did you do it?
Yeah.
Why? Because two reasons. Because I can at the moment, and
Beautiful. It's perfect.
you know, I've got own problems, you know, my health problems, and you know, still got a few issues, and you know, sort of the timing's right, and I've got a mate who's I took him to the grand final last week, and he's a Richmond supporter, and he'll be lucky to make Christmas, you know. It was great to take him, and you know, life's very short, so it was great to take him. I'm good friends with Jimmy Jess, the Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost.
Yeah, from Nine. He got the tickets, and Fiona got tickets. So we all went, and you know, it put a few months on his life. So we're all hoping for a miracle, but yeah, let's just hope he can. We've got a bit of a bowls day for him on Sunday. So, but you know, the smile on his face was there. He's only 52 years old, same age as Fiona. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but you know, we got the opportunity to do it, and it's not for everyone, but and then we'll do house sitting and see what happens.
Well, you know what, mate? The one thing I've learnt over the last shitty period we've been stuck in Melbourne is the fact that there's a lot more. We don't need to rely on this, that, and the other. You know, we've been stuck
right.
doing bugger all and whatever. You know what?
Yeah.
We didn't need this or that and the other. We've just survived anyway.
Exactly.
So that's what it's taught me. You know, I can't go here, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do... And it's never bothered me. And it probably says... It probably sums up how sad I am.
Yeah.
Is it when...
Oh,
we've cut out. So sorry to bore her to death.
He hung up
Fuck.
on us. We'll have to get him back.
Let's talk about horse racing.
We'll get him back. There we go.
How you going, boys?
Oh, you cut
Back.
out there.
I just want to apologise for boring you and Fiona to death, so you hung up on me. So
No, mate, must have cut out. No, it's all good.
like I said, in the last couple of months, it's taught me we don't need what people think we need. You know what I mean? We just need to be
that's
happy.
right.
And you've always been, like I
Yeah.
said, you've always been someone for that who's just had that positive attitude and you know, live your life as you can, as best you can, and be the nicest person as you can, and just for how long you're alive for, it doesn't matter. Just make it count.
That's right, you know, and looking after the people around you, you know, you guys have been in such a tough time. It's been you know, unbelievable, Victoria, but you know, hopefully, as I said, 2021 will be great, and can't wait for the end of 2020. But you don't want to waste it, you know. Anyway, let's hope it all becomes good.
Make the most of it. Righto, now forget the deeper meaning. We've got the really important questions now. How are you going to make us any money?
Yeah, Melbourne Cup.
Hey, you've been all right. I tell you, your form this year's been not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, no, I've been, having a hit and miss here and there, but we've been going all right. But, geez, this is the toughest Melbourne Cup ever, this one. It's an absolute corker.
You told us Surprise Baby a long time ago.
Well, I'm telling you, I'll give you my top 5, and not in the right in any order, and I'll give me your top 5 and they could probably run 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
But I'm going with Surprise Baby. I think he'll stay. He'll stay longer than your mother-in-law, mate. He will stay all day.
Yep.
He's just a star. And I know he's only third up, but last year's run was incredible.
Yep.
I see there's a fair bit of money for him too. So the call of the card today. So, but Willow's on top. He's drawn barrier 7. He won't get back like last year. I just think he's a great bet.
Yep.
For Melbourne Cup. I like Very Elegant.
Yep.
She's a freak enough. 6 Group 1s or something. She's only got 55.5 kilos. So I think she'll go well. Prince of Arran, Jamie Carr, could be the second girl who wins the Melbourne Cup. He's just about due. He just running the Caulfield Cup was sensational. And the number 21, Tiger Moth, he's only having his 5th start. Imagine winning the Melbourne Cup with your 5th start. It's incredible. But he must be something extraordinary. But, these internationals, when they run their races over there and there's only 6, 5 and 8 in them, they use pacemakers, different field, 24 starters. It just makes it, a bit hard. But he might be a freak and master of reality. But, as I said, you could have 10 picks and still not get in the first 5. But I love Surprise Baby. I'm going to have a fair go at it tomorrow, especially the plates.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everyone sort of looked at last start and thought it was a failure. I don't think it was at all. It was a second up stayer that grinded home really well, I thought.
Yeah, this horse is just a dead set stayer, and he'll stay. Like, there's a lot of queries. Well, the top weight's fantastic, but 58.5 kilos, and Very Elegant star.
Yep.
But the top weight, 58.5. Finch will go well. There's the Russian Camelot you leave out, Steel Prince. And I'd just like to point out number 22, Ocean X, is raced by a couple of the Bomb Beach Football Netball Club guys.
Yeah.
The blokes I used to play footy against. So, sorry?
Jigger. Do you know Jigger at all? You ever
No, mate, no. I'm an old man. He's probably 40 years younger than me. But the evil Stephen Salter, then they've got the Bomb Beach Footy Club crew.
Yep.
They've got to share an Ocean X tomorrow. So I hope it goes well for them. It's about $60, but it goes. It's a good horse. So I'll be cheering for them too. But geez, what a tough race. What do you like, mate?
I'm pretty much on the same lines as you. Tiger Moth was probably my top tip. We look at the history and we see that the European 3-year-olds seem to be weighted to win. 23
for sure.
Is probably the big snag. But if you can sit 3 wide with a bit of cover, is a big chance.
Yeah. Well, the Melbourne Cup, the wide barriers don't really worry me because you got 1,200 metres before you go up the straight. So. If 5th start to win a Melbourne Cup, he's going to have to be extraordinary. But he might be 52.5, as you said. But I'll be on the baby. I'll be cheering the baby in Ocean X.
And the other, my best roughie was a little bit along your lines. It's a horse called Twilight Payment, which I found out that Lloyd Williams only bought not that long ago. Used it as a pacemaker in last year's Cup. And then went back to Ireland. I think it's had 3 or 4 starts and it might have won 3 or close to all of them, carrying massive weights. And it beat a 3-year-old one day. I remember watching. I couldn't sleep one night. I sat up and watched it. It beat a 3-year-old that had 52 kilos. Gave it 10 kilos and mowed it down. And I think it's flying. I think it's
it's a good horse, and look.
Race. Yeah,
and good price. Something will jump out the ground because. And Lloydie Williams, they know how to win the Cup.
Exactly.
So,
so
it should be good.
Also, just a few things, sort of looking at next year when you're travelling around, we would love you to be our Russell Coit on the road, and we'd love to keep in touch with you to see where you are, exotic places that you've got to, and keep in touch with you. It'd be fantastic. And the other thing...
we will.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing I was going to say too, I know the Mayor of Barra Creek, so make sure you get up to the Territory and... I'll give you his contact details. The Mayor of Barra Creek. He's a great bloke. So when you get up there, I'd love you to catch up with him as well. So on your travels.
Oh, that'd be cool, mate.
And when you come down here, I'm just looking out here at the Oval. There's heaps of room to park a caravan.
I'll park the van there, mate.
You could park it in the full forward zone, couldn't you?
Yeah. No, that'd be great, mate. Look, we'll definitely be down. I'm hopefully it's next year. So it'll be good. We'll be touring around, but we'll definitely catch up. And the most important thing, take care and never stop living, never stop dreaming.
That's great. Really good to catch up with them. We hope to hear from you next year.
Yeah, I will, mate. And it's been great. Thanks for having me on so much, and I've enjoyed it. It's just been fantastic, like a lot of other people. So, from my heart, thank you guys so much.
No worries, mate. Just appreciate you being on. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
And look after yourself.
Enjoy your travels. Look after yourself. Say good hello to Fiona and the rest of them, and we'll catch you soon.
All right, boys. Take care. Love you all.
On you,
see you,
mate.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Just good people. Just good people.
Get our last guest on.
Last guest. Hey, been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Trev McLean. Hope you're still listening, Trev. You're not asleep. He messaged me earlier on. He goes, when's Slugger on? When's Slugger? I'm waiting. So we have now a more than much loved guest on. Someone who's been here a long time.
Yep.
An underrated footballer. A bloke who loves the club. A terrific bloke. And I'm just running around because he's one of my best mates and I love him dearly. The Slug Reed. So welcome, Slug.
Yeah, welcome, boys. It's great to be here.
It's taken a while. We started yesterday and we're still there. But anyway, am I asking the first question? I've got a bit of it.
You can do an intro for him. Would you turn the page?
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just intro him?
Tell us a bit about yourself, Slug, and
the basic questions
how
first.
How long you been at the club and what you do for a crust? Yeah, the basics, just so anyone doesn't know, that should know you.
Yeah, I've been at the club 38 years.
Jesus.
I come down in the under-14s, cross over from Chelsea as a young buck. First game with coach Jock McGregor, is an old ripper, and and that's about it. For a crust,
butcher.
Yeah, butcher.
Bricklayer.
Butcher, baker, candlestick maker.
Drainer. In the draining crew there for a while. Al Smith.
Yeah, Al Smith, give me a go.
Hey, that didn't go too well, you and Ginny.
Yeah, no, we went for lunch and we had 15 pots, so he didn't appreciate that too much. But I was a butcher by trade as a kid. Then I got the bone and the beef at the Abbeys and that. And then later on in years, I became a concreter, which was concreter for 15 years. Yeah. Then after a couple of hip replacements and stuff, I kind of had a semi-retirement, you could say.
Without the cash.
Yeah, without the cash.
Oh, fucking I won the last 100 days.
Yeah. But then I done a couple of years. I got on the draining and a little stint with a bare bum, painting a few walls, but the shoulders and neck wouldn't hold up too good. Then I got on the Moose Gang for a couple of years and actually wishing you all the best with your hips, Moose. He's just had a hip replacement, even though you're an old prick. But then these days, actually, I've been back in the Crete. I've been back in that grey shit. Yeah. And just to keep in the shout, pretty much. But that's about it, mate.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. And I was going to, this is a question I wanted to ask. People that don't know you, you actually come from a famous family. Those that don't know the Reeds, it was half brother, isn't it, Mark?
Half brother,
Mark, yeah. So
same father.
he was.
I thought it was the Kardashians.
No. He was so far before his time. He was one of the biggest bookmakers in Victoria, and we look at how every second ad on TV now is sports bet, etc. That was what he started that whole collective of the big business in Melbourne, especially in the bookmaking. So tell us a bit about Mark and your dad, Jack, and what they were involved in.
Yeah, well, Mark, he was ahead of his times. He actually moved up to Darwin because he could get, like with all the internet, I don't know if it was internet back then, he could bet like on little countries around him. Yeah. So he went the furthest way. And he he started up the Reed rating, which was those days back in the pub. You'd see Reed rating 1, 2, and 3, and he actually had a lot of pubs in Sydney and that where he's based for a long time. But he was he was pretty.
He's big.
Yeah,
he's big.
Biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. He was, I think he was the first bookmaker of, it was the Call of Cards actually. We talked hearing from Bish before to win $1 million on the Melbourne Cup.
Wow.
And I think he was 27. So, yeah, he was.
Back then too.
Back
Imagine
then,
$1 million bucks.
$1 million bucks now, that'd be like, fuck,
20 million. Exactly, yeah.
But also, my father was a bookmaker and a penciler at his later years. And it pretty much was in the family. Me pop, he was a bookmaker. Freddie Carpenter, me Uncle Sonny was a bookmaker, mainly dogs. Me dad done a bit of SP work, got run out of a few pubs. I
was going to say that too. Everyone at Chelsea Heights is somewhere in the Carpenter except for me.
Yeah.
Me. Me.
Everyone else is related.
Now we're not related.
Except me.
Yeah, it's a fair breed there, but they and me pop and so on. Then me pop had the SP for years back days, and me mum. Saturdays I wasn't allowed to go near the house because mum was on the phones, and mum was like the tough one. She'd chase down if they owed money. So,
sure.
They're quite though.
She was pretty hard.
Yeah, but it's funny. I never really followed the footsteps. When I was young, I wanted to do the paper round, and my old man said to me, "I'll give you I'll double whatever the paper round is to do your times tables." Anyway, I got up to sixes because I only knew sixes from the footy scores. And anyway, my old man cracked the shits. He goes, "Mark and Grant are doing their 22 times tables by now." And I looked at him again, and he goes up to 12. He's throwing the tea towel me at me. He goes, whatever. But even early days when I was a kid down here, say 20, I was running place cards and stuff. But like you were saying, Mark was ahead of his time. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Do you still contact him? Do you still spoken to him? I remember when he first come out, and we used to dag you about Mark Leaders. Brother and stuff like that.
No, early days we'd go there on Christmas and we'd catch up, and then he was Sydney based and that. I actually went up the Darwin Cup years ago when he was based on the track and caught up with him a bit. And it was funny, it was only a couple of years ago, I was in St Kilda having a bit of chow food with Jack and Georgia and Yvette, my partner, and my brother Rick. And I looked and I thought, oh my God, that's my old man. And it was Mark. So, we caught up then, which was good. It was, but no, not really. No, they all do this, done their separate things. And, it was more, as kids, it was Christmas. But during those early years, I had some ripper times as a kid, being at the races and being around it all and stuff. It was good fun.
Does he still do it? Is he still involved at all?
He's retired. Now he's running alpacas. So he's got a big farm. He's living in Melbourne.
You're fucking racing alpaca, eh?
I'll tell you what, cause that's all. He used to wear alpaca jumpers, and he still does. When I run him, he had a pink one on. I'm like, who's this poof? But,
that's coming from you. You used to dress pretty well from Franks and stuff like that. And Rick, your brother, who loves a bit of fashion himself. So I've always liked a bit of lardy, don't I?
But he's into his farming and stuff now. And I know Grant, the other brother, which was a bookmaker as well. But he wasn't as good at it. He was a bit like me, a rebel at school. Mark, he went to St Bede's, or both the boys did, and Mark got kicked out for running the book. He was taking all the teachers' money. Grant got kicked out for drinking, piss and fighting. But Grant had a go of it, and he wasn't real flash, and he went broke. My old man bailed him out, then Mark bailed him out, but then later on, the years, his daughter became a bookmaker. And so it's like it's in the family kind of thing. It was great fun growing up as kids around the Yeah.
And having the Reed name. Sort of thing.
Yeah, or I never really looked at it as that.
Yeah.
Like, and cause my mum was a carpenter, and the carpenters are pretty
Who were they?
known in the area. And
Never heard of them.
Yeah, and like even the Hickeys, like my Uncle Keith and my Auntie Dawn, I spent a lot of time with them as kids up at Cora. So I never really thought of the name. It was just, that's a cousin, even though I had 300
300 of them?
Yeah.
300 carpenters.
And which is, it's like, I'm spewing this year, didn't get ahead, because Josh Bull, my cousin Tracy, that's his son, and my other cousin Dale, Gary's playing here, and so, which is great. To see those two, and they're good people, good family people, and I know what they bring to the club. They're full on on every way they go. So it's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, fuck, I've lost the fucking question. I'm just listening to him. Where am I?
I'll do it.
Yeah, we got questions.
Slug, you played.
Hang on. No. Got it.
Yeah.
HC question 2.
That's it.
Nailed it. Hang on, Slug.
Yeah.
Professionalism
Before you
right
go,
here.
look behind you. Have a look at that.
Fuck, I can't.
You can't turn around. Look at that moon. Jesus.
Bad.
You put that on Facebook.
Oh, no. That's fantastic.
Grant's
Go on,
become a
Ben, you
hippie.
get that. I'm surprised you haven't got it.
Hey? God, hell, I'm talking about fucking
Hopefully
Mark Reed.
the moon boys are listening.
Yeah.
They give us a tip soon too.
I know.
Feel free to post them in.
Yeah, exactly.
Righto, question 2, HC me. So you did play in the dark days, Slug.
It did.
What was it like? Who was your first coach? And do you remember the day you debuted? Because they were tough days.
Yeah, or seniors.
How old were you when you started, when you debuted?
I'll tell you a quick story. Oh, yeah.
This will go for ages.
No, only a couple of minutes. But the first year I was under 18, so I was 16. And there was, because my name was Damien Reid, and we had another on ball in the 18s, Damien Gillester or something, Lester, left footer, he was a ripper. Anyway, Kempy was the coach of the twos, and they said, pull this kid off. Anyway, the other Damien hadn't turned that up that day, so they pulled me off. So I ran out in the twos, and he's a ruck rover. So I'm on the ball, and I'm playing as side Gary Foote, he's probably 50 at the time, and he said, just take it easy, boy, I'll show you where to go and stuff. And I ran around like a headless chook, and then they clicked, get this kid off, we've got the wrong one. But so I doubled up, and that's what you did a lot in those days. So it got to the next year, and we had no under 18s. I was a 17-year-old. I'd played the first 3 games in the twos, and I think it was round 3, and it was dubbed it out here at the Heights, and they pulled me off in the third quarter of the twos and said, you're playing in the one, someone's pulled out. So I debuted, and the coach was Dennis Armstrong. He put me in the forward pocket. I kicked 2 out of the 3 goals for the day. I kicked about 23, but so it wasn't a bad start.
Was that the last 2 goals you ever kicked?
No, I got one about 10 years later. Was it from me? No, definitely wasn't from Codge. He didn't pass. But, so he put the faith in. We were pretty shit. We were really struggling big time. And you'd hear a lot of people on the sideline saying, what are you playing that kid? He's no good and that. But it was Dennis Armstrong. And I played there as a 17-year-old and played the year out after that. And it was great. I learned a lot. Yeah.
You I'm not sure we have the question because I was just going to wing this anyway. You actually played, and I know that because I've seen you play against some really tough guys, and I'm talking the Dalglatius, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you did all right.
I beat them, Peg.
Yeah, you did. They were monsters. They were fucking. They were machines. They were at the top of their game. They were absolute monsters, and they were big guys. And you just, why? How did you beat them?
I think a lot of me was, I never used to worry about if I got a kick or I just worried about beating my opponent. And I knew my abilities. They were, like I could kick as far as Billy Pickin. Like bit like Badger, 25 metres, you know, and but I knew I could spoil. I knew I had a bit of strength.
Yeah, he had that.
And I liked the body contact. So I used to, I knew when I was playing on them, like the Thursday night, and it'd be in my mind. Yeah. I couldn't sleep. I'd go home after Thursday night, even though some nights we might have been in the old magnet at 3 in the morning, but I was in my head till I got out there kind of thing. And I don't know, a bit of determination.
I think that determination's the thing that I know about you. It's you've always been that determined person. So when someone says you're sort of that person that if someone said to you, you can't do this, that was like the spur on. That was the like, I'll fucking show you. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I don't think it was out of spite. It was just like, I can do that. You know what I mean? So,
I pretty much challenged, like saying football, cricket, whatever. Never much skill, but just always challenged myself. And with those blokes, I thought, no, I'm taking it up to you. And I didn't like getting beaten, even though we were getting beaten. But if I could take something personal out of that and think I've done my job, yeah.
What was the two questions? What was the biggest flogging you copped? Do you remember?
Cranbourne, 51 goals, and I actually played.
It's always fucking Cranbourne, isn't it?
Yeah, played on Dalglish that day, and he kicked 3.
That's not bad.
And he was captain coach back then. No, sorry, he was captain. He was leading the goal kick, but he kicked 3. So he left 47 for the others. So
good team, mate. Good team man, old Dalglish, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What about on the other hand of that? What was your best win? And I mean, and when I say best win, I don't mean like it was a grand final or a final or something. What was your best win? Sometimes I remember a couple of times that. I remember one day that Puppet kicked a torpedo when Gary Foote was playing out. I think it was Narry or something like that. We were never going to win, and we won. It was just, it didn't mean anything for the scoreboard, didn't mean anything for the fucking where we were on the ladder. It was just a great win. What was your best win, you reckon?
Yeah, we're we went so frigging close, but it was out of Beaky, and it was a wet day, and. That ground was the old tip. So
it was a shit ground. Good buys.
Shit ground, yeah. But we weren't expecting to win. Yeah. And actually, I think it was Hogs. No, Dennis was still coach. And I think it was the only game we won for the year. But we just came up against it. And they wouldn't dive on the ground because they were too scared of getting their knees cut up or whatever. And we just put our heads over it. And I remember blokes like Hoss and Putty and... We just wanted to win, you know. And probably that day I remember a game in the 2s, Doveton. I'd never beaten Doveton, and it hurt. I hated them. And we got him out here in the 2s. It was in the seconds. And that was, even though it was a seconds game, it was that satisfying. I remember we were walking off the ground and Badge, and he was giving them a bit of their own back, but it was a really satisfying win, and to beat Keysborough for the first time out at Keysy was that was huge.
Well, they're the things you remember, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you play 300 games and win 250 of them, or you lose 250, there's always a certain game in your life that you remember. Yeah. And I remember my best one. I didn't play. I was on crutches, and we beat Cranbourne here. And I can't remember, it was under 7 or whatever it was. It was like we won grand final because we never beat them ever. And we got flogged, and we beat them for once. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we tried, and they tried too, but we tried harder, and we beat them. And it was one of the best wins. I always remember it. I was on crutches, and I ran on my crutches, and I was crying, and I was carrying like a fucking pork chop, and I never played. Yeah. But I still remember that day we beat them because they were unbeatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my oath, Peg. I remember, I never played in the side that beat Cranbourne, from juniors to seniors.
Yeah, shit.
And we played in a practice match seniors years later out at the Racecourse Oval, and I'm a 40-year-old supporter, and just seeing us beating them, that made me day.
Yeah.
It's certain, you know.
That's what I mean. It's really, not. Sometimes it's not about grand finals or finals or pivotal games you should play. Sometimes it's just an average game that no one ever remember except you, and that's what it makes a difference.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
And sort of adding to that, all the other clubs around here used to say, well, why aren't you guys successful? They never played against the Cranburns or Duftons, and they don't know how strong they were back in that,
It's funny, and I know big Trev McLean's listening today, and I remember saying to him once they were playing a practice match. It might have been Dubden or Hampton Park or whatever. I said, listen, don't throw your weight around out there, because this league's different. They'll give it to you. And we were like, we got bagged. The shit at the Heights and all the rest. And I thought, if only some of you blokes
played in Southwest Gippsland.
And I know a few blokes that had come from Peninsula clubs to here. They couldn't wait to get out of here and get back to the Peninsula. And you'd see them run around the Peninsula like they were queens. And I'm thinking, you weak pricks.
Well, remember I can't remember, 10, 15 years ago, when some of those mobs played Southwest teams. Remember they combined and they had to play. I can't remember. You probably know more than I do, but they had to actually play those teams. And I remember, and I'm saying, so we're talking about Trev McLean now. We're talking about, and so you talk to them and go, and they'd be like, "Fucking hell, they're fucking tough as fuck." I go, well, fucking hell. That's all we had to grow. That's how we grew up. You know what I mean? And they're like, because they said, they're your shit. I'm going, well, basically you play them and see how you go. And when they had the opportunity, it was only for a couple of years or two. The puppet or someone will
I remember those years.
And they were like, they're mad. I go, yes. That's all we had to do every week. It was just.
It's funny when that league all started, and it was like 4 of the main sides, but a lot of those sides are the strong Southwest. They were like feathering down, coming into the Peninsula.
Oh yeah,
and so they didn't see the best of them.
No, they weren't as mate. They would have. You know what? Those teams then that we got smashed at, they would have killed every team in Morning Peninsula in their prime. They would have smashed everyone. All those heroes, all those people who gloated and stuff, they would have had their shit punched out of them by those teams, because that's how tough they were. And that's all we had to deal with every week. And they had a tiny opportunity to meet them, and they're like, shit, they don't like this. I'm thinking, oh, that's what we had to do all the time, you know what I mean? And I think we got a little respect out of them through that, because they realised how tough that league was. And that was crazy. You know, they were tough. It was tough. And as we were not successful and not that great, those victories we had, like you talk about, they meant so much, because it was amazing.
They did, yeah. I remember we hadn't won a game for 2.5 years, and we knocked off Deb Meadows. I remember Diane McDonough frigging the champagne bowl. It was like we won a grand final. It was like, but they meant so much to you. Yeah, it was just, so it was good. Yeah.
It was. Before we go ask another question, can you hold up what you're drinking?
I can. I'm on the
the bottle.
Lemon squash. Normally I have a chill, but it's a bit later. Normally I'm in bed by now. I'm having a little girlish drink tonight. A little girlish drink.
A little Jimmy Aves drink, that one. Little Streety drink.
Yeah, Streety would be proud of me.
So just tell us about the Heights first premiership, what it meant to you. Describe a little bit how it's been long-lasting, the celebrations, everything that went with it. The big, for everyone here, obviously the relief of winning a flag. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah,
you've been around here for long enough.
Yeah, the first Heights, it was like, I think every kid's dream is to play AFL or win a grand final. And I think through my whole career, nearly got there a couple of times, but just didn't. And I knew I was at the end of my tether, and because Jimmy Johnson was the coach, and the year before, I was just a hold me man, get beat. Remember JJ would say, you got to run off and do all that. I'm thinking, I don't know how to do that shit. This is a new age footy. But it had been so long, and I think from being in the Southwest all those years and getting flogged, and you'd see bits and pieces, along the ways we'd have footy, but then off to Melbourne and Smitty, off to Melbourne and Barra to Sandy and different clubs. You'd see glimpses, we're going to be all right, and then we're back to we're struggling. And when we come in, leading up to that grand final, it was just, it was just huge. I was a supporter then, but I couldn't. I was a bad supporter because I couldn't keep my mouth shut because I wanted to be out there. But when we finally won that flag, it was unbelievable. It was just. So actually, I'll never forget that night. I was with Codge, the producer behind the back. He said, "Have a go at this." I go, "What's that?" And he goes, "It'll calm you down." But it might have been one of those little cruiser things. I don't know. But it just meant so much. It just the people that for years and that it's that dream you chase. And even if you're not playing and you're a supporter, and to see it finally come through, it's like it's more or less to everyone else.
Get fucked.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think. Remember Dinger saying stuff like that when we won. It just wasn't for those 22 guys that went and played that day.
Exactly.
It was for the history of the club. It was for the Jock McGregors. It was for. The Bakers, it was for the Giddises, it was for, say, the Yokeses, it was for, like, say, my mum and dad, or dad sold cans and stuff. It was for everyone leading up to that and all those years. It was all that hard work that finally we got some success, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And it was just, it was a long time coming, and like I said, mate, to me it was the greatest day of my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was brilliant, you know what I mean? And you can say it was third division this, but it doesn't. I don't give a shit what you fucking say. It's a grand final.
It didn't matter.
And you've won it, you know what I mean?
I think I was on a high for 6 months.
Yeah, it was great. Mate, I loved it. I loved it. I remember the top I was wearing. I remember I was the team manager there. I remember running. I remember crying. It was when Nicole and I were only been together a couple of years, something like that. I remember the whole day sort of thing, and the emotion and the whole. It wasn't just relief. It was that this is fantastic. We, you know what? And it was like this. It was a bit of fuck you, and fuck you. You know what I mean? So
it's for everyone. Like you said, Peg, it was for everyone. For this club, for 67, they'll form, were they? 67?
69,
69. And for all those years, and especially those hard years like the Oaksies and the Hogs, and they played in those grand finals, against Berwick and that, and missed out. So it was amazing. Like 6 months. I've actually they'd done a photo of the side, and they give to all the sponsors like a photo. I've still got it in my car to this day. It's in the back seat with me concrete pamphlets or me dunny paper or whatever, but I've still got it.
That's amazing. Before we go to the next question, I just wanted to mention again, thank you to JDR Bricklayers for all your brickwork needs, whatever you want done, barbecue extensions, etc. Give Joel a call, 0403 611 809, and thanks very much for sponsoring the show.
Otherwise known as the Waganya Flyer.
The Waganya Flyer.
Yeah.
And he was fine today.
Cora Kid.
The Cora Kid. He was having a kick today with about 14 stubbies under his belt.
I wonder if he knows Johnny Ferrari.
I reckon good chance. Good chance.
He maybe. Now I've got a couple of questions. Have you got any questions for him?
You go for it. We're up to the demon quiz.
Righto. So, how'd you get your nickname? And please tell the truth, because there's a couple of reasons there. Well, a couple of different versions of how you got your nickname. There's one I know.
It's they used to say because I was hung like a horse, but that's not
true. I'll tell you what now. This is a true story. I was at home today, asked him about the stuff. I'm thinking, this is the first question I've got on my book, right? Nickname. And there's two things gone. He was a bit slow, or he's got a massive cock, right? I thought, well, that's bullshit, right? So I want to know the other version. So what is the other version?
And I think the other one, slugs, I move like a slug. But I actually thought I was pretty quick over 15.
No, I think the second answer is probably more to the point, right? The other thing too, let's get off the point. You played a bit of cricket, Slug, at the Heights.
Oh, did I? What? Yeah.
And you're fairly handy. So you tell everyone?
Very handy.
And you were captain for, what, a couple of years?
As long as I could be.
As long as you could be, right.
Yeah.
And did you not open the batting and the bowling when you could?
What
was the go with that?
Most games I opened the bowling and the batting.
And why is that? Was that because you were good at it, or you were just captain?
Oh, a bit of both. But,
A bit of fucking both.
I used to like to lead by example, so I thought if I can get the ball in my hand, get that early wicket with a new ball, and same with the bat. I thought if I can get out there and get the runs on the board quick, that's what I'd do. Not like they play cricket today.
And how did you get the runs on the board when you played?
Well, normally it was a reverse sweep, or I'd try and hit the first ball for six. And it's funny now, you come down and watch the cricket and they're going, shh, and I let him go. And you go, just hit the frigging thing, will you? And my message to me players when they're going in, don't just hang around there. If you're going to get in there, get in and get out. Yeah.
Exactly true.
Well, it's a flag. Yeah.
It did too. Now, another true story, and I'll get back to the flag. Is this a true story? Did you or did you not, when you and Jimmy, because you're both open and batting and bowling, because you hogged the fucking team.
Vice captain.
Yes, you're vice captain, so no one else can fucking. Did you and did you not play at some beads? Go out there, the video, Margie Smith or someone had a video.
Yeah, she has.
You walked out there swinging like fucking Michael Slade, like you and him like fucking two dickheads, right?
Yeah.
And then realised the video wasn't on, so you come back off the ground, right, and waited till the video got started up and then re-entered the ground swinging around like two dickheads. Is that true story?
Oh, we might have.
No, is it a true story?
It is a true story. But I've got to add this. We were playing on mats. Jimmy gets out to the front. He starts tapping his bat like he's on the turf.
That's right.
Like, I'm going, you kidding? I go, we're on mats, Jim. But the first ball of the day.
What'd you do?
I hit it for six. No,
That's a true story. I was there. They walk in, Jimmy, they're doing this one and this and fucking this and that. And they realised the video wasn't, so they've come back onto the ground and then done it again and fucking this one. And all of a sudden the first ball bang straight over the fucking thing at six.
Yeah, no mucking around. Yeah. It's funny, we were talking about, sorry, Peg, to interrupt.
No,
we were talking about Quinny before.
Motion.
Yeah, the poetry in motion. Anyway, I was captain of the thirds a few years earlier, and he was going to win the bowling average. And I thought, I can't have this. I can't have this. So funnily, a page out of the scorebook went missing for the year. Anyway, Quinny, if you're listening, pull it up your ass. Bad luck.
Did you now? The other thing too, because not only did you open the bat, you opened the bowling. I want to know. There's a few sort of questions I want to know about there. One, why? Right? Because you used to say to me, what did you used to say? Give us another over. Why?
Yeah.
Because why? Because I worked them out.
Yeah.
You worked them out. Even though you get smashed or whatever, you're bowling shit or whatever. Yeah, give us another. I go, another over. I think I captain one. You go, no. I worked it out.
I always worked them out.
You worked them out.
That's why I think I would become a fair cricketer.
Yeah, he's serious about this, you know that. He's believing his own bullshit.
I'd see him play on
fucking average at best.
I'd notice weaknesses. I'd see weaknesses in their batting and their fielding, and I got taught by the best, Jared Chadwick. And I learned how to work out the batsmen and stuff, so it was only a matter of time. Sometimes it might have taken a bit longer than others, but we always got
6
there.
months or so.
Yeah.
What about your run-ups? You had some different run-ups in your years?
No, I had a couple.
Yeah. You weren't up like 20 paces. You were up probably... Three? But it wasn't the three that worried me. It was a... Can you do it? Can we get him on cam doing what he used to do? The whole hide the fucking ball thing?
I used to do the maxi walkers. I do anything.
You do the double one?
I'd stand by the umpire and go like this to the batsman, and then I'd run in and just be going like... I'd just go stupid stuff, and... I'd roll it over. They were too busy looking at me. Next minute, the wickets were tumbling. And I'd talk them into it, Peg. That's a hard trait to learn.
I've never played with a cricketer who just... I thought, he's full of shit, like the bullshit that he's but, and then he'd get wickets. Yes, I worked it out. I totally worked it out. I used to go, shit gets wickets. You go, no, I worked him out.
And it's funny, like we had some good cricket sides and had Molly and Forbes.
True.
Like they were great left-handed, swing it everywhere. And then Molly just try and bounce heads off. So I just bring myself on third. I was a bit sparrow those days. They were gone. They just wanted to get out of the park. So I just come in and take I actually came runner-up in the league one year, believe it or not. True story, Beck.
I believe it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, who would have thought?
So what happened? Did we win? Fuck, it was a bit of a drunken memory, wasn't it? Did we win a grand final? We lost one. We lost one against Morty Lake, didn't we?
Yeah, we lost.
It's Bobby Marcello side once.
Yeah, no. What happened then? Those days they were Saturday, Sunday finals. They go for 4 days.
No good.
Yeah, and Molly was our gun bowler. Anyway, he's got on the juice on the Saturday night. He's rolled up 10 overs late on the Sunday, and if you're 10 overs late, you've got to wait another 10 overs to bowl. So I got the first wicket. It was Smitty for Morty, and well, actually we had him good. And Bobby Martello said, "Can I bring my son on? I've got a bit of asthma." Or his son was Aaron Martello. Could he play cricket? He's run 3 blokes out in 5 minutes. I thought, this old bastard's got me. Yeah. But they
stooged us that time, didn't they?
We stooged that one. We got done in the twos with that went 4 days. It might have went 5 days. It went right to the last minute. We were batting right at the end.
Yeah. A special mention to a player. I actually played that year with you. I filled in for you.
Yeah.
Special mention to a player called Wunny.
Oh, yeah.
Wunny?
Yeah.
Simon Hammersley?
Yeah. What a legend he was.
Was
too.
What? Yeah.
What a fantastic effort to bat with one hand.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I batted with no skill. Big deal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking Simon Hammersley, big deal.
Yeah.
I was retarded.
Because I remember that you had the bear 11 that year, and he was batting at 11 for you, and filled in for you. What a great effort, and you made the grand final.
Yeah. But a great thing about this club, I must say, getting on while we're on cricket now, we actually folded.
Yep.
And we were a real. I'd come from Chelsea, which had 7 sides, a girls' side, a great cricket club too. But when I come here, then we were that strong, and then about 8 years later, we folded.
Yep.
And then the next year, Brian Gates said, "Just want to start up." Yeah. So we did, and actually we went undefeated that year, and we won the flag.
We did too.
Yeah.
I've still got to actually.
And it brought Puppet and blokes like Spence and Cozzy and great cricketers who were playing high-level district cricket, brought them back to the club, and the club was become a strong club again.
Yeah.
So,
we did too. That was absolutely true story. We were folded, and then like I said, Brian, I think last thing, I said we can get a team together, and we just thought, fuck it, why not? So we put it together, and we actually won the grand final.
Flag,
I'm more concerned about our training schedule. How was that?
The hardest thing was bringing the mats over here.
Yeah, that was shit.
You'd have to bring them over from the old rooms, and the hardest time, you'd get them there, and they just stay there, because we just stay in the bar. Yeah. So there wasn't a real lot of training. And,
Well, I think that the rules at the start, I think I kept them 1 year. The rules were, if we get enough to train, or 4 or 5 to train, we'll train. But you'd have 3, so you'd be drinking cans, and then someone else would turn up and tell me home. You just couldn't get that 6 to train, so we didn't bother, you know what I mean?
I think even in the
don't worry about it, you know what I mean?
Everyone all of a sudden wanted to get out and, train. We haven't trained all year. Why?
Just sit down. And getting off the story, remember Puppet's first game here?
Oh.
So Puppet had played. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! You know what I mean? He was a gun cricketer.
Best all-rounder in the world.
He's and we've got the mats. So we haven't got enough pegs to pet the mats out, and they're loose, and there's rocks under it, and we couldn't give a fuck because we don't care.
Actually, I knocked those mats off from YCW that morning. We were short that year, but the club
you should have knocked the friggin' pegs off. We didn't have enough of them. Anyway, I've come down here, and I was late because I always like to come down and see the first couple of overs because there's always movement, there's a wicket or something like that. And I've come down, I'm thinking, fuck, and there's like a blood trail. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And there's a massive blood. I thought, it was Tommy Toogood, whatever his freaking name was, or whatever.
No, from
what was his name?
Chelsea RSL.
He was I never liked the prick. Was it?
Yeah, and he was mean
quick.
and fast and quick, and
And he's got. Did he get Bear first? Or was
he got Bear.
He got Bear and fucking hurt bear.
Yeah.
And then he got... So Puppets plays turf. So in turf, not that I've ever fucking played it, you know, the ball goes there, you put the bat there and the ball comes to the bat. Well, this thing, because we've had not enough fucking pegs and stuff like that, it's bounced and smashed him straight in the nose and broken his nose and put a bone outside of his nose. Is that true? So I've come down and there's blood everywhere and he's off to hospital. Yeah. And he's actually came back.
Oh, unbelievable.
And made 50-odd?
Yeah, and I was actually square legging that day. I thought he was joking because he was always like the footy, put on the show and that. He's going, oh... And I've looked at him and I've just seen the blood and I thought, oh, maybe you're not joking. Oh, no, he can't get hit. He's too good. Yeah. And he did, but he went to hospital. Biggsy took him down to hospital, I think it was, brought him back. And by this time, Hopgood was just scared everyone. Slash, I think he got him as well. And Puppet just come out and with true grit. And he was like the elephant man. Yeah. He couldn't even see out of his eyes. And the bat, and he still wouldn't put a helmet on. Yeah. It's one of the greatest things I saw.
That was gutsy. I think he made, did he end up making 50-odd or something like that? We just got done.
Yeah, just got done. Yeah. It was even after the game, you didn't want to look at him because he looked that ugly.
The bone went straight over his face. There was blood everywhere. So.
Yeah.
We had a message on here from the Bad Bear up at Wangaratta about you drinking car polish. Do you remember that at Brighton or something?
They're Brighton, one of the they had it too, and we're at the bar there. It was like a draw on the Sunday draw, so we're going up with Puppet. I remember Molly come up that day, a few of the boys, and what's his name? Pup's mate, Ripper Blake.
Mutimer.
Not Mutimer.
Not Brendan, no.
Clive?
No. Anyway, he knows who I'm talking about. Brighton Cricket Club, Ripper Blake. And he was hanging shit on me voice. He goes, you sound like you need some oil in there.
Yeah.
And for your information, Bear, it wasn't shoe polish. They had a thing of motor oil in the bar. I said, give me 7 ounces. And I sculled it. So it wasn't it was the man needs oil. It was just to clear me throat up.
Tin Man.
Yeah, a bit like that. Need some oil.
I've got a couple of questions for Slug. Is that all right? They're true and false. I know. So I know you just true and false. No stories.
Yeah.
Right, you can add the stories at the end. Is it true that you nearly had 3 car crashes in one weekend?
True.
Is it true they involved me?
True.
Is it true you're a shit driver?
True.
Is it true that I involved in 5 near misses or accidents with you?
Oh, yeah, true.
True. Is it true I'm a jinx?
Maybe. Yeah, a couple of not so good. I wasn't a real smart driver.
Yeah, well, you were shit house. Yeah. Did you have the white laser first?
No, the red laser.
Was it? That was the first one?
Yeah. No, that was the first one, little red laser.
Brand Spanker too, I remember.
Yeah, no, that was the second one.
Yeah, that was a Brand Spanker.
Yeah.
Because we drove down Chelsea Road one day and Slugs tried to turn on the radio and he's nearly swerved a car, so I fucking got the steering wheel and anyway, saved him, no worries. Anyway, we get to, we're going to Phillip Island that time, remember?
Yeah.
I can't remember the girl, I won't mention her name because she probably doesn't worth mention. Anyway, we're on the freeway and we're driving down the freeway and I said, I'm in the back seat, I'm thinking, geez, it's dark. And Slug goes, and so he's putting the interior light. And I thought, no, it's the fucking headlights you need to put on because it's fucking dark, right? So we get down there and we're trying to get a spot at Phillip Island and we can't get it, it's a long weekend. And then we get to this, we take off somewhere else, and this car pulls out in front of him, and Slug's fucking winding the window, and he's going, you fucking, you fucking. And the bloke shorty goes, why'd you put your fucking headlights on, dickhead? You know what I mean? So this is the same weekend, right? This is the same day. Yeah. Anyway, we stayed there, and that was a very uncomfortable weekend. That wasn't the greatest weekend we've ever been, because anyway, it doesn't matter. And then we're driving home, around, not 10,
probably right.
Yeah. And he's decided, right, in his wisdom, right, to put his seat back and lie back and have his girlfriend at the time steer the car, right? So we're going, he's lying back, and she's steering the car, and we get past this L300 Mitsubishi van, and I'm like, I with him, and then all of a sudden she just fucking rips in to go fucking left and fucking puts his car straight up into the gutter, and it's like, oh fucking jeez, you know, and. This bloke was, I think he was an umpire. He was an umpire, right? And he's going, I was doing that. He goes, you all right? He goes, oh, yeah. Drop me cigarette. Oh, really sorry. And this boy's going, no, it's calm down, it's okay. I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell. There was 3 accidents in one weekend. Not to mention the time we went to the snow slug.
Oh, true.
Remember that?
Yeah, God, I'll never forget it.
That was a great fucking day, that one, wasn't it? I've never been in the snow in my life. So we're going up there, and Slug's not the greatest driver, right? And he doesn't understand the fact of the rear vision mirror. So fuck that. Take that out of the equation. When you need to speak to someone and you're in the car, you turn around and you just talk to them, right?
Oh, I'll puppet.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly, I'll puppet.
Yeah.
So we're going there, and I've never been in the snow and this kind of stuff. So we get to a point, I don't know where we were, and there was like a hairpin. It was like a seriously fucking hairpin turn. Anyway, I can't remember who was in the back of it, and we're talking shit, and he's like, oh, and then we just missed the hairpin and go straight off the fucking thing. It's about a 5 metre drop. Yeah. And that was in your white Falcon, and smashed the car on this fucking 5 metre drop. We're going, fucking hell, you know what I mean? And so we're down the bottom of this drop, and a bloke rolls up about 5 minutes, and he goes, oh, did you miss the turn? Oh, no, dickhead, we just do this on fucking for a bit of fun, you fucking moron, you know what I mean? And we're stuck there. We had to get his old man, Jack had to go, he had to ring Jack up and goes, we've fucked up and stuff like that. And Jack comes along, we get us, we pick him, we go back there and stuff like that. Jack goes, don't tell your mum whatever you do. You know what I mean?
I think I told my mum was a steering rod.
Oh, something broke, yeah, something you broke or something like that. And we went back home, got back to the snow, and it was I fucking hate the snow. It's a fucking shit job.
It is.
All I'm saying is, and I got way late with that story, is the world's shittest driver.
No, it wasn't real flashback.
No, not flash. We had a conversation a couple of weeks about Slasher's working at it, driving, the garbage trucks? And I'm thinking, yeah, I could do that. And Slug goes, I'll kill someone. I'm thinking, oh, you fucking will too. You'll kill someone. Anyway, that's all I got.
The Demon Quiz. We're going to get into the Demon Quiz. Best player you've seen at the Heights, your opinion?
Whew. Shit, that's tough.
Yeah.
I got 10. No, I probably should have read the question. No,
fuck that.
I've got to mention a few. I really do. Yeah, non-playing days. Ryan Flack, sensational. Hagen and Mana, just tough as a cat's head. Yeah. Oh, bloody Scotty Crow just could turn it on. He was real. He was right up there. Other coach, 23. Love him. I'm going that good. I've had a few cruises, you know.
Don't hear my name getting called out. Anyway.
No, but in playing days, I love Cozzy. He could play back, forward, and play from a young age, you know. He's the only bloke I know who could have 3 off the bat and go out and sit on someone's head. And if, I don't know if people know what 3 off the bat is, but yeah. And for his size, he was like that. But he had that much strength. Ash Roberts, that's, I think, tough as buggery. Loved him. Damien Mearns, from a young age, before he went to Queensland, I had the privilege of playing with him. He was just a pit bull. He actually made you go harder. He was one of those blokes, you just see the way he just threw his body in and that, and you thought, oh, hang on, I'm a soft prick. I'm going to have a go. Yeah. Steve Fanning, unbelievable, you know. That's why he couldn't mark it, he just smashed it. He knew, he dictated what was going on. Paul Foote, just another one. Hard as fuck, strong, just everything, just a gun, you know. But I love playing with Hoss. He's that underrated, Hoss, because he just Gavin White. He just gave everything, and he played in those dark days. He played all the way through, and it was great, especially the thirds premiership, seeing Hoss, still involved and like captain. He'd gone through all that. But my number one is the Smut.
Yeah.
Smitty, he just like forward, back, on the ball. If the ball was 2 metres away from him, you thought he's got no way of getting that. He'd just dive like Superman to get
didn't
it.
He
just dive.
He would dive and go,
he'd
go horizontal.
He'd go, he just this is approach to it, and this, I just call it the Malachi Crunch, like off Happy Days, the cars. Yeah. He just hit blokes with his dense, dopey body, if you're listening, Smitty, and they just shatter. And I used to love it. It used to just make me blood flow. I just think, that's good.
And we're sort of looking at the modern day Geelong, when you look Dangerfield in the forward line. Imagine if we had the luxury of putting Smitty up forward. You couldn't match up on him.
You couldn't,
no,
yeah.
No one
and even though he had the ugly kicking style and like for full back, and watched him a lot over the years, not only had the privilege of playing with him, but watched him at Springy and stuff. If he was in front of goals, he didn't miss.
Yeah.
The Smut knew we were the goal. So for me, it's a Smutley. Yeah, cool. You big poofter.
Very good. Did you have any sort of pre-game rituals that you used to have, apart from 100 pots the night before?
Yeah, well, no, 6 pots. When Candles was coach, it was 6 pots, because what he'd do, he'd rather you come down the magnet and have your 5 beers, and right, that's it, boys. Now you're home, and you're sweet. But I'd get down early, and he'd be second, so I'd buy him a beer. So we got 7 in, but no, pretty much. I used to get very nervous for a game, and I used to like if I was like butchering in the morning, because I didn't have time to think about it. So I pretty much finished work, got to the game, put your gear on and out you go kind of thing. But I used to always have a Mars bar or a Snickers, and usually a couple of Winnie Blues in the Dunnies just before. That was pretty much it, yeah. I tried to Burrow, because Burrow, and sorry I didn't mention before, Burrow was another great football to play with, and his skill and, the way he went about it. Burrow was a ripper. Yeah. But he used to have the pasta on every Friday night. So Jimmy and I thought it'd be a good idea. Well, this another go, it was Beaconsfield. We'll stop at the Berwick on the way to the ground. We'll have pasta and orange juice. So we've got the carbs, because Burrow would get it from Nick's every Friday night. Yeah. And anyway, we got to the Berwick. And we looked at bloke eating a Palmer, and I said to Jim, "What are you having?" He goes, so we both had we had a Palmer and 4 pots. So and then I remember running out and thinking, I don't feel that flash. So that one didn't work. So I give that the arse pretty quick. Yeah. But no, normally it was a Mars bar and a couple of Winnie Blues in the Dunnies. Yeah.
And I know you've had a crack at it, but who's the best climber of the Magnet been?
By a mile. Here's another one. Jimmy gets another mention. He was good. He could go backwards. He worked out the height and stuff, and you had to be high. But by far, little Nicky Magic.
Sadu.
He was a monkey. He could just hang up there and do a circle and go back. That got a lot of people, the beam. Yeah. And I never conquered it. And I'd land on tables a few times, break the metal. I think I might have broken me back and never healed, but I got that close one night and I was that excited. So all I had to do was step onto the bar. Yeah. But I got that excited, I put my hands, I've done it. And I missed the bar. I missed it by 3 inches. But Sadu by a mile. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah. They were funny days.
All right, so tell us. I know you've got some great. I don't know if you've got any demon tales you want to share with us. The footy trips, the raffles, leaving.
He's the worst fucking raffle fucking person ever.
I know. That's what I was asking.
I told you the story before, early on the fucking piece.
Tell us about the raffles or the red laser you used to leave in the car park.
Yeah,
Thursday night and pick up on Monday.
Yeah, well, it's a funny thing because I think that was inherited by my old man because after the races, I used to get dragged in and we'd go out for chow food or pubs in Port Melbourne or something. Then the next day we'd go into town, brother and I, to pick up Dad's car. And my brother would go, "Where's your keys, Jack?" He goes, "Oh, they're probably in it." And I think I inherited that. I'd come down and then, "Where's my keys?" So a Monday morning would be a mad rush. I'd have to go to butcher and I'd have to get up 5:30 in the morning, sprint from all the way to Chelsea Road and just hope the keys are in it. But yeah, but what was the other one, mate? Sorry.
Yeah. No, the footy trips, the raffles.
Footy trip, yeah, love the footy trips. And hearing I-Rod talking about them before, I just loved them. Won 4 down lows, so that meant I loved them. But one year we weren't going too good, and it was usually Pego. He'd run the kitchen. I'd pinch the sausages from Safeway, and that was our footy trip kind of money. And Jimmy was always involved too. And anyway, we got to the end of the year, and we've advertised this big raffle.
Is it a telly?
Yeah, coloured tally.
Bike.
But the bike was real. So, because
the only fucking thing it was.
Yeah, Putty owned the bike shop, Greg Putt, and he was great to play with early days. He owned the bike shop, so he donated the bike, but we just got a big box and filled with bricks, and apparently there was a tally in there, but someone from Somerville won it. But
wasn't it
turned into probably, because we've done a lot of Adelaide trips and stuff. That year we went to Corrock, we were on a low budget, and it was probably one of the greatest footy trips of all time. We got up there, we went to the races on the first day. Bob Merrill, Johnny Ferrari's daughter, he lived on the track. I think he picked 6 out of 8. They're all short, but we all got up. And then at the pub that day, Ablett had kicked 9 the year before. The pub across the road from us staying said, "Free piss to Ablett kicks first goal." He didn't kick a goal to 3/4 time. So you can imagine 24 pigs sculling. And then as soon as he kicks a goal, they all bowled out.
Yeah, that's right.
But there was a few of us this day there. We felt sorry for the public and we give a few back. But footy trips were great. We had a ball.
Cool. Any other questions?
Mate, I haven't got much for the slug. He's just told it as it is. So it's been fantastic. It's been actually a really good night tonight.
Yeah.
Learned a really lot from, I know most of his stories anyway.
We've got something to present him.
Slug, we've got this for you.
Oh, stop it. You're killing me.
I can't get this off me fucking melon. It's a, you know what I mean, singlet. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Hope it fits you. I've probably got a couple of bigger ones today if it doesn't.
Is that a triple XL? That's what I'm wearing.
No, I've got that's what I'm wearing. So
I'll wear this very, very proudly. I say.
I just, on behalf of me, I've known you for a long time. I count you as one of my best friends ever. You're best friends at my best man at my wedding. I've been through a lot. The first time Slugger and I met wasn't the greatest, probably thing, was it? You know what I mean? It was pretty average. I think we wanted to take each other on, but in the end, I think we jumped on Hoss's fucking bike for some reason and smashed his fucking back wheel. But I've known this guy for most of my life, and it's an honour to call him a friend. And I've really loved listening to the stories you've said tonight, and it's an honour to have you on the club, on the show tonight. So it's been great. It's been terrific.
Thanks, Peg. Kind words, mate. And it's been an honour to be on here, and like yourself, love you guts, as Angry would say. But and the Grant, you used to do it, and Codge, you're doing a great job. Nick behind the scenes, and and your brother Darren, I had some of my best days playing footy with Daz, early days in those, hard days. This joint's just, it's a fantastic club.
That's a great club.
And appreciate everything, and all the best.
So I'm not sure if you want to say. I've got a couple of little words before we end up tonight. Because we're probably late.
Or ringing Dave before you go.
Fuck, we better ring Dave. Dave be shit-faced by now.
I again just wanted to say thanks to JDR Bricklayers. Give Joel a call, 0403 611 809. Are we ringing Dave? Or
Who's ringing Dave?
We'll try ring Dave and see if he's
Ring Dave. Oh, if we don't ring Dave, so ring Dave.
Yeah.
I want to say my
and then
thing.
you can say a few words.
Yeah. Are we ringing him? Because I've got to piss like a fucking horse.
We'll try.
Good thing about it, but you can lose weight and get into that. I need a bigger size.
Perfect.
So there we go.
You'll be fucking blind.
Did a waffle for too long?
No, you're good, mate. That was great.
You've called David Lee. I'm not here at the moment.
Oh, no.
Oh, don't be
Leave
an
your name and
arsehole,
number,
David.
and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
There's no
Thanks
Dave
for calling.
Oh, what a prick.
Oh, well, no, Dave's joking.
Dave, you're a complete turd. No one likes you. Where's your joke, you arsehole?
We're going to hang up.
Besides that, fuck off.
What did you want to say? Finish it off. Thanks.
The last thing I want to say, if anyone's listening by now, I just want to say something that it wasn't my idea to do this. It was you guys. I was just super fucking proud that you've asked me to be involved, and I've loved it. It actually really got me through the whole COVID thing. It gave me something to look forward to. I loved it, as Nicole said the other night. I get down, I get really excited and stuff like that. I want to thank everyone who's been on the show, everyone who's helped out the show, Nicole, everyone, all the guests, everyone has been involved in stuff like that. It's really made 2020 something that I've actually, it's got me through it, and that's honest, you know what I mean? I've really enjoyed it. To you, your professionalism is amazing. To Mr. Moody's fucking guts over here every now and again, he's been all right, you know what I mean?
It does.
You've been great. He's done the work. You've done your homework, and I've done fuck all as usual, you know what I mean? But I've actually loved it, and we hope we can go on next year and do better things for the club.
Yeah,
so.
we're hoping every Thursday night we can, or most Thursday nights we can do a show, which we show the sides, get the coaches in, have a chat, just present it to everyone, the whole club, get a past player in as well, and just continue on the snowball. Thanks to everyone for listening and getting involved. We're hopefully going to get out a bit of a music clip with a little bit of the best of. It would be fantastic. Next year we're hoping to have an Oaksy, have a whole special on Peter Oakes.
Next year we're going to have one on Peter Oakes, a whole show, and the other one we want to probably have is Puppet.
Yeah, Puppet.
Have another show. The whole. So two of those guys are very influential in the Heights and the way they've gone about it for completely different reasons. Oakesy through the whole come up and be a tough guy, that kind of stuff, and Neil all the money, all the time, all the faith and everything he's put in the club. So we want to deal and get in-depth questions and on those two guys have been very influential in the club. So, but those two guys deserve their own hour or hour and a half on it. So yeah,
definitely.
That us?
That's it.
Thanks for everyone. Thanks guys. Appreciate it. Idioties.
Grow your business with social videos. It's not an option anymore. As humans, we're hardwired to absorb story. Video is where story thrives. Storytelling in video ultimately provides more opportunity for your audience to develop a strong connection to your product. Social media demands content. Let Major Tom Media create social video content for your business and watch your engagement grow. Go to majortommedia.com and become irresistible.